Hey everybody! Happy New Year! Can you believe that this shit's almost over?
No.
I honestly had a pretty good year.
Yep. Okay. Enough of the Gaelic song. Okay. Anyway, how's everybody doing this evening?
Pretty good.
I'm just kind of tired.
Yeah. So,
Fucking sending this shit off real hardcore.
pardon?
What?
What? Anyway, so tonight it is 9:01 p.m. East Coast Standard Time, December 31st, the year of our Lord, 2020. I feel like the 2020 is going to be a curse word in about 10 years. Like, I mean, if we thought 2016 was bad because 2016 kind of sucked, 2020 like completely took it to town, like completely raw dogged it. But how's everybody doing tonight?
Wait.
Dude, 2020 is like getting screwed by a dude who just picked up every STD from his last sex vacation. Like, it ain't fun.
Okay,
My
so
dad.
oh wait, you're queuing on, Dad?
Dude, I gotta tell you about that. He told my mom on Christmas, honey, I want a divorce.
Wait, what? I thought they were already. I thought they like.
No, they had previously got divorced. They're getting divorced again now.
I can't tell if that's like really sad or really funny.
It's really funny to me.
Oh my
So like,
God.
yeah, it's that is so.
It's
Wait.
ridiculous, dog.
Like no, didn't you? I think you told me one time about your with your your father. You said he was always afraid that she was gonna leave him, and that's why he didn't want her to work out or something because he didn't want her to be attractive.
Well, he's the type of guy that has major empathy issues, and he's like 16 going on 70 in maturity level.
No,
and
I
understanding.
I totally know what you're going on about.
Like he's the guy that like literally blares his music super loud in the basement, refuses to
and cries while he reads The Hobbit.
Yeah. And like if somebody tells him no, he's like, "Why are you being so mean to me?" I'm like, "Okay, Dad, I'll do the dishes then, I guess. I do so much for you." I'm like, "Okay, Dad, just go get high in the backyard."
Wait, he's 70 years old?
No.
65.
Yeah. So, wait, your dad's 65?
He's an old man.
How old's your
That's
mom?
an old man.
I have no clue. Maybe he's like 55. Who fucking gives a shit? He's gone now.
Anyway,
Boomer.
Anyway,
yes,
so
he is boomer.
That's enough of the dumb little chatter in the beginning. How are you doing today, Dakota?
Wow, just dismissing it right away. Damn.
He didn't even want to hear about the crackheads I dealt with today.
We'll get to the crackheads. But first, first, just sort of a serious or tongue-in-cheek, doesn't really matter. What are your thoughts on 2020? Just everybody has a minute. We'll start with
worst
Beppis.
year ever.
Beppis, we'll start with you. You got 1 minute. I'm timing you. What are your thoughts?
Wait, you have to preface it like things that happened to me personally or the wider society.
I mean both. It's a macrocosm.
I mean, there's some interesting things that occurred. Me personally, I graduated, got a good job, and have been building my savings account, and I generally have had a finished school and have been able to start building up my bank account, having a pretty good time.
As a social worker?
Yeah, sure.
But yeah. What are the worst things that happened to you personally? And what do you think the worst things that have happened just in the general sense from a cultural perspective?
The worst thing that happened to me personally, probably my dad shaking up the household on Christmas. Culturally,
Hey, Volts, I think you have a bit of echo on your end.
Culturally, I think we're reaching a pinnacle wherein the powers in the world are shifting and China's taking the world stage over the United States.
Somebody has echo. Whoever has echo, please deal with that.
What kind of echo? Like a voice echo or
music? I hear like music and people talking and stuff. Okay. Okay, I think that was Dakota. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, so strange seconds. What about you? Worst things that happened to you personally. Worst thing.
I can sum it all up in a sentence. My sex life is surprisingly dry for how much 2020's fucked me.
What about just in the general sense? What do you think the single worst thing that happened? And other than COVID, or you can do a sizzling take and say that something was worse than COVID. Doesn't really matter to me.
I mean, for me, COVID has sucked mainly because, I'm paranoid as hell, so I did just stop going out, and I'm kind of just, like, going mildly stir crazy and shit, but, hey.
Fair enough.
Other than that, though, I started therapy and have become far more sane. It's rather nice.
Very good.
Sane or more insane? You never know. But
I'd say more sane. I'm able to
That's good.
adjust to society better.
That's good. What about you, Dakota? I know you're gonna have an interesting one.
So what was the question again?
Worst thing in 2020, just from a personal perspective, and then worst thing that you think, just in the general sense for the year.
Let's see. Life has been never-ending chaos, so personally, not entirely sure. You can pick one particular thing.
What
Ted
about
Cruz
just like
Ted Cruz shaved his fucking beard? That's
All
like
right, personally,
the
that's
worst
No.
that hurt me more
I
than
can't.
anything.
Okay,
I can't take it because he was like, "Wow, daddy," but then he
Redefined his
shaved and
identity.
I'm like, "Ew."
No, the thing is,
Terrible.
Ted Cruz actually looks like good in a beard, like
That's
better, or at least
what the
better.
fuck I'm saying. He looked really good in a beard, and then he
Like,
shaved,
He-
and
That's
now
the
he's
worst
like
thing
freaking like
culturally.
just like absolutely crushing. Like, did you see the picture of him with the monster? Where he's
No,
just
no,
like
the thing
absolutely
is,
fist.
speaking of monsters, like, does everybody remember that show, The Munsters, from the '60s? It was like Frankenstein was the dad, and then the Bride of Dracula was the wife, and then Dracula was the grandpa. Well, Ted Cruz literally looks like Dracula in The Munsters.
That sounds like some incest there.
But anyway, but in the general sense, just as an overall, just
I've
all
never
the shit
heard of
that's
the
happening.
show. Never heard of the show though.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
But
I've seen it. I definitely get the comparison.
I've never heard of it. It doesn't even register to me.
Hold on, I'll show you. I'll show you. I'll show you.
What the hell are you talking about?
Dude.
No, whoops, that's the wrong one. No, but hold on, you're gonna laugh. Right there.
It does.
Oh my fucking god!
Yeah,
I don't like that. That's insane.
That's closer than I remembered.
hell?
Wow.
It's exactly. He's
I
the
don't
great.
know, like there's a lot of people that have that look, like the lips and like the facial structure similar to that. Like what culture is he from? Like
He's Cuban.
ethnically.
He's Cuban
No, see, there's something else there.
and white. I think his mom's white.
See, because the guy that played Gabriel in Supernatural kind of has that look
You guys ever
too.
did a genetics test? I thought I'd find something interesting, and I found out I'm literally 99.9% white.
See, for
Yeah.
a second there, I thought you were going to say
Exactly
you're
what
Ashkenazi. I was going to be like, wow.
Oh no, the most diversity I got is I'm 0.01% East Asian. That's right, the Mongols came from my ancestors.
I mean, the Mongols came for everyone's ancestors. I mean, let's be real, isn't it? I think it's just a myth that people keep citing for some reason. However, I mean, there's always a bit of truth to some of these stuff, like this stuff. But isn't it? It was like something like 1/6 of people are somehow genealogically related to Genghis Khan. I don't think it's quite that much, but
it's legitimate. It's 100% legitimate. He just fucked a lot.
Well, I think it's based on raw population statistics rather than
yeah, true.
any groupings. So it's on average the person in the world.
Plus,
Well,
there's the
also, like,
Black Death at the time.
With the way genetics end up being spread around, it's like if you're white, there's like a 1 in like, it's actually like a 60% chance you're like a descendant of Charlemagne somehow.
It's like a 99% chance if you're Chinese, and you'll probably be related to him in some way.
Yeah. but remember, in the end, we are all black. Does everyone remember that?
No, what?
Okay, no. So
I mean,
there
I'm
was this-
Italian, but I won't say I'm black.
Wait,
I
No,
may
wait,
not be
wait,
white.
why are you
Dude, are we
lying, man?
twinsies? Oh my
Wait.
god, I didn't know you were Italian. My
Hell
brother.
yeah.
no, but there was a
Mamma mia.
there was this really cringy
Step is it?
there was this really cringy PSA ad. This was like from a couple of years ago, and I mean, I get like its intent. It was supposed to be kind of like oh yeah, like we're all the same inside. But so it was like I think it was like I don't know what
What did
country
they
they're
say,
from, but they
JR?
had accents or that accent, and then so it was like this little black girl playing with this little white girl, and then the white girl goes over to the mom and she starts talking about how great it is that she plays with black girls, and she says because at the end of the day, we are all black.
Wait.
But-
I
Wait.
mean, on a
Wait, wait, wait,
genetic
wait,
level,
wait.
if you go far enough back, that's technically true. But like, you got to go pretty far back.
Wait,
Back,
can we all say, since we're all black, then we are all kings?
No, we're all kings. It's fundamental difference.
Yeah, it's a big difference.
Yeah.
And also, if the oldest human remains that are discernibly like the same species as us were found in like northern Greece, then where's the Africa part come into?
But we're all kings. We was kings.
Well,
man.
the out of Africa hypothesis is still just a hypothesis.
Which
And
I'm
But
not.
it's-
I'm not saying that it couldn't be legitimate. I'm just saying that at the end of the day, if you go back that far, like that's Australopithecus time, and that's not like discernibly,
To be
that's not
fair,
even the
our
same
an-
species.
Our ancestors probably were from the core area of like Africa. If you go far enough back,
Yeah,
we
but
probably
I'm saying modern,
spread-
like even.
Yeah, we probably spread out way
Yeah.
before we evolved into modern humans.
Not even modern humans. I'd say like what we can like discernibly breed with and maybe have viable children with.
Oh, if you're talking about that, you can only go back like 10,000 years. Literally.
we can-
No,
we- I mean-
I meant you can go back about I think 7 million years is the oldest discernibly like ancestral remains that of what would one day become Homo sapien. And it
Yeah,
was
I
found
mean,
in
you
the
couldn't
northern part
mate
of
with
Greece.
that. You would be sexually incompatible. But
Oh yeah,
No,
I
no,
don't
not-
think we.
but-
Well, I mean, maybe.
we were sexually compatible with Neanderthals because
Yeah,
it's
but
like
Neanderthals weren't
3%.
that
But
dissimilar.
Neanderthals were way closer, A, and B, Jacob, tell me, if you fucked a gorilla right now, a female gorilla, would you get it pregnant?
No,
Exactly. If you
Wait.
How do you
fucked
know?
an
Hold on
early
a second,
ancestor of
maybe.
How do you know?
mankind-
I mean, we gotta do some experimentation.
Yeah, we got to test this out. All right, this is just
Yeah,
a theory.
Propose your hypothesis. Let's
Okay.
Jesus
Game
Christ,
theory.
are you guys literally going dicks out for Harambe?
see.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes, we
Before
are.
the new
I'm-
year
I'm
starts.
gonna-
No, wait,
that was
wait,
really way too
so-
Reddit for me, JR. I'm gotta have to submit a complaint with
So-
HR, please.
Politicrat, do you want to own a pet chimpanzee?
I mean they rip your faces off. Like I mean they're not
I'm-
nice.
Yeah, I tie my hair back now. I can't get a chimpanzee.
So do you don't want a Travis situation, right?
Who's Travis?
All right, a couple of years, about maybe 12 to 14 years ago, there was this terrifying news story that this chimp named Travis in Boston ripped this poor woman's face off, nearly killed her, and
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah, that was a long ass time ago.
Fucking face ripper monkey.
well, for one, why do apes are so vicious? They try to bite off your fingers, ruin your face, like biting off your face. Why do they have to do that?
Dude,
No, you see, that's what the
Dude, they're from
that-
the same evolutionary line we are. Of course, they're fucking ruthless. I mean, look at what we've done. Like,
no,
We're
but
talking
okay.
about the riots now, right?
Faces off though.
Oh god.
I mean, there's a lot of people, bro.
We don't rip
But-
each other's faces. We just
Yeah, we do.
We just
There's a
go over-
few-
Where the fuck
there's
have
a
you
few
been?
that do.
Have
Well-
you seen what the Sabians did? They would like tie their babies' heads up so that they'd be all cylindrical and shit. People act like that
Yeah.
wasn't less than 2,000 fucking years ago. Like there's
Less than 200 years ago, where you had the Flathead Indians.
like, dude,
They'd-
like
they'd
it's
tie
like
a
literally
piece of
all
rock.
it takes for it to go bat fucking shit is for you to go like 4 days without any food. You get like 800 people who've gone 4 days without any food, and you tell them if you do this, you'll get food. You're gonna get some fucked up shit. Let me tell you.
Is that what's happening in Austin? Because apparently there are people in Austin that.
All I'm saying is that you got
What's going on in
rats.
Austin?
You got
Food
rats in
lines
New
for
York
miles.
City. You got
Shit.
rats in New York City that are actively hunting. You got squirrels attacking people because they're starving to death. Rats are actively hunting pigeons. And it's a pretty Gucci time, honestly.
So wait. So you're telling me that? Are you telling me that the state of nature is a real thing?
Have you seen the squirrels now? Apparently they're squirrels
attacking
mauling each other in New York City, and there's just blood all over the ground, and no one's cleaning it up.
So so Hobbes was right. Thomas Hobbes was right then the whole time about the state of nature. Huh. Great.
He was right about the state of nature. He wasn't right about the fact that that means there aren't rights or you need contractarianism.
Yeah,
that's true.
His whole philosophy is things based on just a weird assumption, jump in logic. But whatever.
That's the concept of human nature, as we understand it. Are you talking about?
Yeah. I mean, he says obviously the state of nature is nasty, brutish, and short, which.
I mean, in a sense, but then also
that means there aren't rights just because they aren't, respected. And
I
just fundamentally do disagree with that.
There are rights, but exactly, they just aren't respected. What you were saying.
And Hobbes just rejects that and says the rights only come when there's a contract and the Leviathan to enforce the contract.
Well,
but I think they pre-exist the Leviathan.
There might be something that exists innately within you, but at the end of the day, if it's just Wildsville and you say something I don't like and I bash your head in with a rock, I mean, really, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah, I'm not going to do anything about it. I'm dead, but we can still make a moral. Other people can still make a moral judgment of that.
Yeah, well, I mean, it depends on what form of society is even left at that point. If it's just pure on Monkeyville.
No,
if we're returning back, if we're returning all the way back to just fucking I eat people, there's a dead body on the ground, I'm gonna take a chunk and survive off that type stuff. Really, when it comes down to just pure survival, if that's the only goal, that's the goal right there.
Even if you go back to hunter-gatherer,
No, I'm saying even more vicious. I'm saying active starvation.
We don't do well on our own, and so if you just murdered one of your own, your people would probably ostracise you. That's one of the reasons.
Exactly.
There are definitely bands of cannibals out there. All I'm saying is that if you find me a roving band of cannibals and we all live together in the woods, I'd say even in modern day, I can convince somebody to eat somebody else. It's
absolutely.
Real easy. I totally think that it's feasible.
But you're missing the fact that there is, in fact, a band.
Band of cannibals.
There's no bands. We don't need any music.
One at a time, guys.
Dog.
No, but okay. So we need to also talk about. That's one of the major differences.
Grow to community. That it isn't a war of all against all. That it is a war.
Oh, it is all against all.
With each other.
It's just an absolute battle
Interesting
royale.
posturing.
But either way, so you also have to, that's when you take a look at Hobbes versus Rousseau. Rousseau talks about, look about how it was paradise back then, and everyone was equal, blah 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 blah. And Hobbes was no, it was brutish, and it was the reverse. In a way, they can both be right. Sense.
It depends on what the definition of paradise is.
Because the thing is, the state of nature back in the time with the hunter gatherers and all that stuff, it was brutal, but the way in which they lived, the human mind had not evolved to such a point where we had all these problems that we tried to conceptualize and intellectualize. So it was this very kind of blissful in the moment kind of society, but at the same time, it was still brutal.
I disagree.
Well, yeah, that's part of the difficulty there is where you say what the state of nature was.
Wait,
sorry.
one at a time.
For some people, this was 20 years ago. Okay, there's tribes right now that are full on hunter gatherer, eating people in the woods type shit.
Yeah, no, and there's
and that's
one tribe
20 minutes from my fucking house.
What? No, but there are actually there are actually, I forget where they are, but there is a tribe that's around right now, and they literally click. Like that's how they talk to each other. They click.
Yes, it's the
With their-
African
Oh, yeah,
Bushmen.
yeah.
It's one of the God. What was that? other group
You mean
called?
the whole
Fuck,
nations in
fuck.
Africa, entire nations, they click.
No, what's the,
What do you
no,
mean
what's the-
tribes?
Oh my god! Oh my god! I used to know all the freaking genetic genuses of fucking Africa, and I'm gonna absolutely shit my pants. What the fuck are they called?
Pygmies.
Wakanda.
Dakota, help me. Yes, they are pygmies, but I meant the technical term for the
Technical
genetic
term for
genus
what?
group.
Africanus?
No, fuck
I don't
me.
know what you're talking
Ne-
about.
Oh my God, it's-
Negroid.
No,
Oh,
damn it,
no.
damn it. I gotta find a
Susan
genetic map of Africa. I'm
Wojcicki,
gonna
don't.
lose it. I'm gonna fucking lose it.
So, speaking of Africa, should we be concerned about the Chinese or?
No, we should.
I don't- I-
we should be
I-
concerned
I'm
about
a
our
little
own leaders
confused what
falling
the
down.
They did
It's
just
a fantastic
colonize
segue,
all of
don't get me
Africa.
wrong.
Okay, they're gonna make Africa great again by making it Chinese.
China and
I mean-
Africa is a distraction
Bantu,
from our
the
own
fucking-
nation's politicians, throwing us under the bus.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
We need to
As
talk
much
about.
as China does concentration camps, I
No,
want
the
my
thing is,
$2,000.
China
Okay.
doesn't concern me any more
No.
than the U.S. does.
But the thing is with China, what a lot of people cannot wrap their heads around right now, and even when you say this, somebody will think you're absolutely crazy for saying what I'm about to say, even though it's true. But most people aren't really aware of what's going on. But the modern Chinese are quite literally the moral equivalent, if not worse, than the Nazis.
I mean, if you want to do like oppression Olympics, I guess that the Chinese would win out, considering that the Han's Chinese have been responsible for demonstrably more deaths than the Nazis.
Wow, hold on. No,
Wait.
the Han Chinese are the
Why do we
victims
why
of
do we
demonstrably
always-
more deaths than the victims of the Nazis.
Why
The
do we
Han
always-
Chinese are not generally the ones who were doing the oppressing.
Yes, they are.
The Han
Wait,
China, no, but the thing
No,
is,
Yeah.
animation
Why
is
do we
the Han
always?
Chinese.
Hunter,
Why do we?
the
always
entire
go to the
Communist Party is
Nazi
all
analogy?
Han.
Hmm.
The Han's Chinese are the dominant ethnic group in China.
yeah.
I
No,
think
the
you're
thing
is
confusing a
now.
different ethnic group.
It
No,
is
the thing
now.
about
It
China.
wasn't before.
So, can we drop the Nazi analogy? Like, can we use a Stalin analogy for once? Just
How
No.
about no?
No, we're gonna
No.
use the most based, absolutely ignorant analogies as we fucking
Well,
want.
no, because Stalin may have genocided people, but he genocided many different peoples intentionally. The
Yeah,
Nazis
he was a
pretty
lot
much
more
specified about
progressive.
4 of them.
No, but the thing is the Nazis. No, the reason why you can compare it better to the Nazis, in my opinion, is the Nazis actually targeted individual groups. Stalin, and don't get me wrong, I hate authoritarianism. I'm not a fan of Stalin either. Stalin was just like, I do not care what you are, Slav, Jew, I kill you all.
Yeah,
That is historically
the
inaccurate.
Holodomor wasn't about the kulaks at all.
Stalin
Okay,
killed groups of
okay,
people
yeah,
based
but
on their
to be fair,
nationalities
calling-
and race and class.
Dude, where the
Class,
fuck?
yeah.
I need barbecue sauce.
like
I'm
think
gonna lose
about
my
it. China
He
is
was-
currently
yeah.
a developing
Hey,
power.
calling the kulaks
And-
race.
Guys, one at a time. One
They
at a time.
deserved it. That's what you're saying. I get it.
Everybody is talking
That's
over
okay.
each other. This is not normally how it goes. Everybody
It goes this way every time, JR, and you know it.
Okay. But either way, let's get back to New Year's, because I want to keep a theme going on. I don't just want to. I mean, yeah, we can go on tangents because this is not a strict stream with. This isn't a serious stream. But I actually did want to pull something up that I thought was absolute cringe. Hold on a second.
You know,
You guys keep talking while I pull this up. It's New Year.
you know all your streams go on to tangents. You know that, right?
Yeah, I know. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I think you have a different definition of of usually, because I mean, it's fantastic. Don't get me wrong, but in my experience, tangents are the way.
That is true. Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, what were you guys saying? You guys can keep talking while I pull this up.
China.
We're just talking
That's
about.
what we're saying.
I'm just trying to make a case that Stalinism is much more accurate to describe China. You know,
Not
I
economically.
mean, certainly
Economically-
closer in
no.
ideology.
economically,
they're
no.
fascists. I agree with Jacob on that. They are economic fascists.
Because the thing is, no, this is why. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
this is so. Fascism is worse than communism because fascism actually works.
I like the way
disagree.
you think.
I do too,
Both points.
Don't let
I definitely disagree.
Say that, though.
Communism, like socialism, will always eventually become fascist once the socialists in power realize, hey, this communist shit doesn't work, so let's just become fascists. It's a road to
It is
serfdom.
called national.
Yeah, but also it's kind of.
That's your opinion. I mean, I believe there
It's true.
can.
It's my
That's
opinion.
an
that national
analysis.
socialism
I mean,
is
I think a more
communist.
accurate analysis would be that communism is always an excuse for fascism, not that it turns into fascism.
I'd
And
say
that-
definitely
It's,
from
I
a
would-
classically
at a
liberal
certain point, you got to
perspective.
say if every single one of these regimes either collapses or turns into fascism immediately, I have to imagine that it's not like these guys aren't looking at books sometimes, you know? They know it's going to turn into that.
The reason that they turn into the same thing and the reason they all collapse is because they all do the same thing. I think there are significant differences, but what they both share is that they deform the way that.
But by the way, hold on, I have the thing up. I will. Okay, so this is our first. This is our first New Year's related conversation, and then we can also from there we can get into a point, or we can move on to. This can be a bridge to a conversation about how there are very, very cringy people who have absolutely no self-awareness and try to ruin everything for everybody.
Anti-maskers.
January 1st, 2018, Neil deGrasse Tyson. Not that anybody's asked.
Why does he do this?
But New Year's Day on the Gregorian calendar is a cosmically arbitrary event, carrying no astronomical significance at all.
That's an old tweet. Okay.
Shut the fuck up, Neil deGrasse.
That's an old tweet.
Did I ask?
No, it's like it's serious. Like he's basically saying, "Oh yeah, all these things are arbitrary." No, if you actually know it, there are very, very strict reasons as to why this is there are reasons why the Gregorian calendar is the way it is and why that is what we adhere to. It's because of like the cycles, for instance, cycles of the sun, the seasons. It makes the most sense. Also because of like traditional religious significance that
Yes,
hold
you could
from a cultural perspective.
technically pick a different month for it to be the first of, but it makes total sense for it to be the first of one of the months that we use to break down the goddamn year.
Exactly.
Yeah,
but he's a nihilist.
The Gregorian calendar has been very precisely calculated over quite a long time. It's not perfect by any means, but yeah, it's not like it's entirely arbitrary. We made this up 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, we have to have leap days every now and then, but like, well, it's it's one of those things. It's one of those things I like to call. Congrats, you're technically right. I bet that gives you a real brain stiffy.
No, it does. It does with Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah,
it literally does.
Where he's probably typing, he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna fucking science school some fucking libs."
Oh, it actually.
And then he'll like rub his nipples a little bit, and he'll be like, "Oh, because I believe in sciencism. Science is my love. I masturbate to fucking Einstein's equals."
He probably does.
Hey,
are you okay?
Dakota, we haven't talked in a few days. How
I'm
are
going
you doing,
overboard. Sorry.
I'm good.
Yeah, tell me all about how you've been.
I'm drinking excessive amounts of the devil's juice.
Devil's lettuce?
juice.
The devil's nectar.
I'm drinking devil's nectar. Yeah, that's what it is.
Oh.
This one's even worse. Dear Disney, you got it right the first time. Water crystals have hexagonal six-fold symmetry. You still have a few months to fix your Frozen 2 movie poster, unless the sequel takes place in another universe where water crystallizes to a different laws of physics. Like, I don't know if
you'd be from 2018.
She waves her hands and she creates ice. You motherfucker! Of course, water exists.
These are from 2018, though. These aren't 2020.
No. No, I know, no, but the New Year's theme. It was.
I guess.
No, but that was just. No, but seriously, no. This was 2019.
That's
okay. Well, the New Year's one was 2018.
Yeah.
Neil deGrasse Tyson. Is he related to Mike Tyson?
Yeah, of course.
They're
Everyone with the last name of Tyson is all like very intrinsically related to one another.
You know, they're
Every
cousins.
time you eat frozen chicken, you're eating science.
Like,
No, you're like what they do. They have a lot of like aborted babies in their family because they're all
Oh
nihilists.
God!
They grind them up into little nuggets for Tyson chicken.
wait.
I hope you don't love chicken nuggets.
I mean, it's my favorite type. I get it specifically for that factor. It's all about cannibalism. Like, are you telling me that if someone died in front of you, you wouldn't cut them open for, like, get a human steak just to try it? Even if, like, let's say they're okay with it.
Does that
you
mean
okay
that every
with
time I
this?
put Tyson in the oven, that means that I'm doing spirit cooking? Is that what that means?
Yeah.
Of course.
Oh my
Of
God!
course.
So, like, Politicrat,
You are
can we watch,
directly
like, a Mike
supporting
Tyson
abortion
clip,
every
please?
time you eat those chicken nuggies.
Speaking of
nothing to do
abortion,
with
they
abortion
legalized
at
that in
that
Argentina.
point. Like, oh, good for them. They'll be able to get
No.
Tyson nuggets soon.
Like,
Bad for them. Bad.
Why?
No.
So think about it. Like, we could watch a Mike Tyson clip because the guy is legitimately interesting and intelligent.
Mike Tyson? Or
Yes.
Mike Tyson. Like,
Yes.
That's what they want you to think, but he's actually the big kingpin behind this whole thing.
No,
so
isn't he
Still
friends?
nice,
really whatever
though.
you want.
Isn't he friends with the Tiger King?
Mike
Sure.
Tyson?
Is he?
Mike Tyson. Yeah, I think he is. I think
I
that's
could
who got his
assume he
tiger from.
is.
No, because he has a live tiger. I think he may have bought him from. It's his name Joe Wild. No, Joe Exotic or something.
Yeah.
It's actually Joe Tyson.
Okay,
Joe Tyson?
hold on.
Think about it. Politicrat, you will like him. He's a philosopher, Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson is a really nice guy now, and it's
I
really
believe
weird.
that.
Oh, he's not a nice guy.
Didn't he
What makes you
murder
think
somebody?
He's a nice guy.
Well,
No,
apparently
that's
he's a
O-
nice guy now.
He
That's OJ
is
Simpson.
actually
OJ.
kind of nice.
He bit a dude's ear
Yeah.
off. That's what he did.
Evander
Yeah.
Holyfield.
See,
he's
that's what
gotten
I'm
a lot
saying.
better after his whole jail time. It
Yeah.
certainly messed him up, but
If one
he's
episode
done a
of
lot
Joe
charity
Rogan
work
tells
and
me
stuff.
anything,
not
he's a nice
awful.
guy now.
Wait, he's not a nice guy.
Wait,
I'd
for-
hang out with him.
Mike
I mean,
Tyson.
honestly,
I don't know. I don't know if I'd ever hang out with Mike Tyson.
Oh no!
Yeah,
The thing
you
about
would,
Mike
JR.
Tyson is he got this aura and intimidation, and he just naturally frightens people. But anyway, he's not a nice guy. He's a kind guy, a very kind human being.
Yeah, that is fair. That is fair.
I can agree with that. There is a difference.
Fair enough.
So yeah, he's not a nice guy. He's far from a nice guy. Very kind, charismatic guy. But anyway, how do you feel about Mike Tyson's take on Alexander the Great?
Who?
What? I've never heard his take on Alexander the Great.
That okay. When he was growing up,
Go on.
Oh my god, that's like a fucking hot ass take. I can't fucking believe that shit.
No, but yeah, no. What were you saying?
He was growing up? Damn.
Damn, imagine growing up.
I
Dude,
can't.
Volt, are you okay? Okay.
He must have lost connection.
Oh,
He's
okay.
dead.
I'll put him on. I'll put his thing on the. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, there we go. Anyway,
It's actually the meteors falling at the last whimpering explosions of 2020. It hit his house first. He was the first to leave this mortal realm.
Can you all just hang on for the meteors for us all to die? I really wanted to finish the rest of my French fries.
okay. So I'm going to be. So this might seem a bit edgy. So I don't wish death onto anyone. Just gonna say that out loud. However,
Wow.
so when
You're a better man than I.
But when Donald Trump got COVID, my first reaction was, what if Donald Trump dies? That would be the most fucking 2020 thing ever. It would have been funny, but not. It wouldn't have been funny because Donald Trump died. It would have been funny because of the ironic aspect and the circumstances under which that would have happened.
Oh, I completely agree with
Yeah.
you. It would be the perfect irony.
Yeah, it would have been a funny way.
That would have
2020
been
would end.
literally poetic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But
there's something poetic about a guy dying. Man, you're sociopathic.
Poetic irony.
No,
And
no.
read
He
Shakespeare,
doesn't
my dude?
deserve a peaceful COVID death.
no, I said that I did. Okay, so I didn't say it's funny that if he would die. I said the circumstances under which he would have died would have been funny.
It's
What
meta
did you
comedy.
say, sociopath.
Yeah. That's not
No, it's
sociopathic
meta
at all.
comedy. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
no,
downside
no.
is that Pence is an establishment figure.
Yeah,
I'm just
it's all of the context, like the context of it. It's not like, again, the death itself is not funny. It is the circumstances under which it's like all of that buildup. It's the
I mean, it
buildup.
would be a
like,
little bit funny.
Yeah, it's like Baron Trump like held his father in his big meaty arms, and he's like, "Dad, I got this."
and then he gets crowned.
We need to take
Gets crowned King of America
for Roger Scruton.
What were you saying, Volt? What about Roger Scruton?
We need to take a moment of silence for Roger Scruton, who died earlier this year.
I thought he died a year ago.
Who's that?
Who did?
Roger
He
Scruton.
died this year.
He's a philosopher. Really good one, too.
Well, we need a king. I'll give you a deal. I'll agree to a monarchy if I get to be the monarch.
So, okay, you should start talking to the trads then, because, like, I feel like the reactionary monarchist crowd, they are, like, so thirsty for monarchy that, like, anybody who says, "Hey, I'll be for monarchy with you guys if you make me king," they probably jump on board with that. That's how thirsty they are to build their monarchy.
And the first way you can help build the monarchy of the house of, I'm not going to say my last name, but the house of, it's the same as a famous poet. That's all I'll say. We'll set up that. And the first way you can help me set it up is by going to my Twitch channel, twitch.tv, Strange Seconds, and subbing.
Oh, fuck, you're pimping yourself out?
Wow.
That's
Apparently, Roger Scruton died in January, so he got to miss everything else about 2020. Lucky him.
Yeah.
Yeah, Boris Johnson tweeted about it and said it was sad.
We lost Roger Scruton.
Does anyone actually take Boris Johnson seriously?
I do. I actually like Boris. I feel like
do you remember when he was before he became prime minister, and everyone was making fun of him and his shaggy hair, and it was all ridiculous. And now he's in, and now no one takes him seriously still, but in a different way because they hate him.
Yeah,
well,
I mean, he looks ridiculous, but the man got Brexit done. You know,
I guess that's really what you're calling Brexit.
Right at the end, right there, right at the end of 2020.
Yeah, they just got the deal done. Like
how many years
week.
was that?
5.
Jesus fucking
5.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been trying.
15.
Yeah,
it was such a soft Brexit too.
But yeah,
it wasn't too soft. I mean, Gibraltar is still in the Schengen zone, but
well, I mean,
you can't just break off England from European trade in globalism.
They should have just saw.
No, because that would hurt the English. You wouldn't want to hurt that, or they wouldn't want to hurt themselves.
I don't really care about hurting the English.
Well, yeah, I don't care about hurting the English because I'm not hurting them, but they would be hurting themselves. They would care about hurting themselves.
Yeah, but it would hurt Germany
it certainly is a
short-term
thing.
It would hurt Germany in the long run more so.
The Londoners wouldn't care.
Huh?
It's great if they can establish a free trade and the deals that they have. That's great. I don't like all of the tariffs and stuff. It's really dumb. But
they should just build that.
If it works, it works.
Build that dam across the North Sea with the Dutch. Get that over with. Dude, a good idea.
We have a certain mutual acquaintance that would poop if you mention the Dutch too much.
It's a good point. Yeah, it's true.
Let's talk about anime. I want to talk about Kill la Kill.
Unrelated.
Kill? We got another appreciator?
All I'm saying, I really, really liked the animation. I liked the style.
Amazing.
Oh, no, it's...
I don't like...
It's perfect.
I when it first came out, I didn't watch it. I saw the feminists screech about it.
Why? Well, okay, that sounds interesting. Why did they screech about it?
It's very simple, actually.
When I saw the screeching at first, I'm like, well, it must actually be good. And then I watched it, and I'm like, well, I think they might have been right. Because when, the adult mom goes in and, puts her fingers inside her teenage daughter, I'm just like, huh.
Okay, you're making it sound a lot worse than it is.
Oh, just had her chained up.
Play defense.
Chained up and, going right in,
Let me play defense for this. Hold on. As a fan, it is slapstick humor with no regard for the age of the audience. That's what it is.
It still showed...
But you got to say that. That's important context.
I'm just saying given that,
it's in very
trash.
Now here's some more context. That actually isn't slapstick. That's actually common. in Japan.
It's
For
common for
mothers to
it's
jack off their
molest
kids.
molest
What?
children in Japan.
It teaches them how to do the bad and such, and helps them with their studies.
I
read 3 articles on it, which means
I know you might have read 3 articles on it.
I did,
but
3
I'm just
whole
saying,
articles.
given the context of that scene, considering that she was literally a prisoner of war at the time and chained up, I think that gives a bit of a different context.
Yeah,
I don't think it was a loving scene between a mother and a daughter. I think it was a molestation.
No, that was.
I
Yes.
agree. I like
But it was a reference.
character and I like the animation, but goddamn, that main villain is fucking weird.
Yeah, I'm just
Which
saying.
one? Which main villain?
The molester mom.
Oh, yes.
So
also, the fact that it was all about clothing was stupid.
What?
No, that was great. It was a metaphor.
I can
for
take
sin.
children. I can
That
take
is one
children
thing I
being
can-
molested. I
No,
can take
look.
children being molested. I can take underage titties. I cannot take that.
You're gonna get my
No.
channel nuked, Bethis.
Listen,
You're gonna get my
listen, Bethis, come on. The clothing was an analogy. It was analogy to
I know.
sin.
I know
and
it
being
was.
naked.
I know it was, but the fact that there was like the life fiber thing literally made me want to die.
That was
a little bit
awesome
inside.
because
that was
it made
so,
no sense.
Like literally for the first 8 episodes, I'm like, there has to be like some before they reveal it's like an alien thing. I'm like, this is fucking retarded.
Welcome to Trigger Studios, where the answer is aliens always.
Which I appreciated. I liked it. I liked. But they were all just absolutely buck naked. Also, the little boy's penis.
What?
What?
Are you guys talking about Boku no Pico now?
We talking about Dragon Ball right now?
No,
Dragon Ball.
but it was Dragon Ball.
Dragon
You were very obsessed with the sexual promiscuity
So,
of
That
this
was what the
animated
whole
cartoon
thing was
show.
about. That's
Hey,
what the
Bethis.
whole
Not
thing
what
was
this
about.
was. No, it wasn't.
All I'm saying is that when the kid painted the suit on himself and the mom looks down oh, you're not even wearing your clothes, and it's just his dick and balls are right out. I'm like, that's like a 5-year-old dog. I appreciated it, but I didn't. It was a little cringe.
Well, no, their whole family did body paint because they sold their clothes.
No,
for
no,
food.
no, because the dad literally the next line is, "Ah, man, I wish I had thought of that."
Yeah,
They
because he
did.
was a genius. And then later on, they sold their clothes for food, which was smart.
Okay,
Well, yeah.
okay. So, speaking of anime, so I found out something the other day. I don't know how true it is, but I heard apparently Attack on Titan, that the guy who made it is like an anti-Semite, and the Titans are Jews.
No, that is not. I mean, the latter is true.
Untrue.
The former is not true.
No, the Titans aren't Jews, for fuck's sake.
Yes, they are.
Have you read the manga?
They are Jews. Literally,
They're
they
not
are.
Jews. Okay, you mean clandestinely in the sense that there's an
people-
ethnic group that's hated by everybody and that's
Well, I don't know. It's the people that have the Titan gene in their blood who happen to live in a camp where they have to wear armbands with stars on them.
Hey,
I think they're
yes,
Jews.
it's Nazi themed in that respect, but you could say the same about the Romani.
What's up, my dude?
Hearing it.
As our resident Jew, Menger, what is your take on
Has
the
he
Attack
even
on?
watched Attack on Titan?
I'm not a Jew.
Wait, Menger, I thought you were Jewish.
I have a lot of
Damn.
Jewish DNA. I'm not a Jew.
Okay,
I
so
don't know
you're
what it has to
Jewish.
do with Jews. You can say the same thing about
Listen,
Native Americans.
You
right?
got Jew in your DNA. You're a Jew. That's how it works.
Okay.
So
All right.
What was
Well,
your
if that's it,
so-
then I
Well,
know.
why in Western
The
society?
only thing I know about
no
Attack on Titan is there's a wall, and there's
Yeah.
some big monsters. So since they're monsters, then yeah, I assume that it's probably the Seleucid Empire.
No.
That's
So,
smart. I like that.
That's my stance.
That's a
the
really good
the
take. I like
Titans
that.
are actually Alexander.
No.
Just saying, as someone who's actually watched and read the manga of Attack on Titan, it's hilarious watching
Pronounced
a bunch
manga.
of intellect. It's hilarious watching a bunch of intellectuals who haven't watched the show or read the manga, but have very limited knowledge of it, attempt to philosophize and compare.
Yeah,
it to a bunch of
exactly.
other
It's
shit.
not like Dakota and I have watched it at all. We've all we're all complete layman's here.
Wait,
you know,
hold on a
I
sec.
take a whip
hey,
in my
no,
bag
no,
every
I know-
fucking day.
no,
Oh,
I
I
know
just don't.
you
I talk
have.
about anime, but I don't really watch it.
No, you can't. You can't do this to me.
Majority of
You can't
people
slander me
here.
like this.
I know, you know,
Yeah,
like I had to sit through the fucking poop scene. I read that shit
I'm a
real time when it
degenerate, I
fucking
swear.
came out. I swear to fucking God, this is oppression. But
So,
I digress.
So, like, on the
You don't
Titan-
digress shit.
like, I've been watching Titan.
Let's talk about Berserk.
No.
Berserk.
Okay, guys.
What's up?
So we are not going to talk about anime. At the
Oh
moment.
my god,
No, we are not going to talk about anime at the
this
moment.
is horrible.
Back-
I still wanted to talk about Kill la Kill.
But either way,
Uh,
so what we are going to do next, we are going to move on, and we are going to start discussing with regards to 2021. I just want to hear all of your takes individually, one at a time. Do you think 2020 or 2021 is going to be better or worse than 2020? And I want you to give your reason why. I don't just want you to like say
Okay.
like better or worse. We are going to go in order. We're going to do this orderly. Law and Order. I'm the Law and Order guy right now.
oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Are
you're
ya?
terrible
Huh?
at it.
I really am.
Boy.
But okay, so we are starting with you, Beppis.
Okay. I think it'll be worse because coronavirus just mutated and it's less deadly but more virulent. I think we'll have a similar situation to the Spanish flu, wherein all the young and healthy people that got it and survived from it, when they come into contact with a mutated version, will have a cytokine storm and fucking drop dead. So I'm looking forward to dying this year. I don't know about you. That's it.
I hope so. Oh man, I hope so.
I mean,
Okay.
this is why my paranoia is paid off. I never got Rona.
I feel like I may have actually had it back in February. I've said this before, but either way, now strange seconds. I want to hear you think better, worse, why?
I think it really fucking depends. I mean, I think it's going to probably be mostly more of the same. I mean, it's going to keep getting worse, but it's going to feel the same because, it's been constantly getting worse, but we still kind of feel the same about it all. And I think by the end of the year, it might hopefully be better. Of course, though, it also depends if this new mutated strain can be vaccinated against or if it's going to be a whole nother vaccine. And then that's going to be another fucking thing we'll need to deal with. And blah, 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 blah. Who knows? People may die. People may not.
Yeah, it's like I didn't get run over by a car and survive just to die of a stupid, like, disease. Anyway, on that note, Manger.
I think like all years, it's going to be a mixed bag. Personally, I know that this is going to be a very great year for me. I'm very optimistic. If we're talking about COVID, I think it will be better. I think that the fact that people believe in the vaccine, I don't personally, but largely the population does, that's going to be a good sign because I think it means people might be less authoritarian generally. And also we're at this point, we know it's going to be around. It won't just blindside us like it did to me in March. The number one thing I care about, like politically, is foreign policy. And I'm actually slightly more optimistic with that. I think Lloyd Austin, who is Biden's pick for Secretary of Defense, is probably going to be do a lot better than anything Trump did. And
Pompeo is probably one of the worst secretaries of state we've ever had.
Absolutely,
yeah, that's
awful.
true.
And then finally, economically, I think is probably the worst thing. In the whole group, I think we're going to feel a lot of repercussions from the whole lockdowns and everything that awful and quantitative easing that's happened this year. I think that's going to be a real mess. So it's a mixed bag, but there's going to be some good things. Some things are going to be really awful.
Yeah, the thing is, we need to. I think it's good to remember that Heraclitus was basically right in the end. It's all flux and strife. It's not about good and bad. It's all like. There is I don't mean to sound like some kind of like dualistic heretic right now, but I mean there is a good and a bad side of pretty much everything. There's always a positive net benefit. Like
Embrace dualism, son.
You should okay. So honestly, if you were to join any religion, Strange Seconds, you should become a Gnostic.
Oh no! If I'm gonna join any goddamn religion,
Don't say Buddhist. Don't say Buddhist.
Don't
No.
say Buddhist. Don't say
Taoist
Buddhist.
is so much better than Buddhist.
No, Hinduism.
No,
Hinduism.
Hellenistic paganism, my
Oh, that's
fucking
pretty
dude.
cringe.
I'm
That's still
gonna
pretty
sacrifice a bull.
Paganism. Oh.
No,
I'm
Hellenistic.
sick. I'm sick.
Okay, Hellenistic paganism. Like by the time like Aristotle came along, the smart people did not believe in it anymore. They were like basically monotheists at that time. I was just talking about this in Discord server right before I started the stream. But basically, by the 5th millennia BC, a lot of people in ancient Greece were already starting to believe in kind of a more henotheistic, even to a lesser extent monotheistic idea, and they started developing ideas very similar to the Holy Trinity. But more or less, what they believed is that these different gods were more or less aspects of the same kind of universal kind of. And then you also need to remember
I've read about that as well. I'll admit, I think you're oversimplifying it a bit.
I totally am. No, I totally am.
It would be more like an oligarchy of gods. The truth is one of the big things we also know is that was seen more limited. But the big thing is the reason why, especially nowadays, we have the idea of like the pantheon of what is it, the 12 or 13 Olympics.
There's 12 Olympians plus Hades, because Hades was actually responsible. And Hades was the most responsible. Yeah, he actually did his job, whereas the other ones were total degenerates. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, he's the only one who actually did his job. That is true. But essentially, the idea is before the ancient Greeks believed in literally thousands of fucking gods.
Oh yeah, it was like that.
There was a god of the north wind. There was a god of this.
Yeah.
There was a god of that. And eventually, what happened is they narrowed it down to a closer core of gods. And the reason why I made the connection to a trinity is because it wasn't consistent throughout Greece, but oftentimes it was something like, oh, so this town worships Aphrodite, Athena, and Poseidon. This town worships Zeus, Hermes, and Apollo, blah blah blah. And eventually it was more limited. They would pick and choose which gods they worship.
And what we need to remember is because this is like for every generation of every era throughout history, we like to view things based upon the modern context and based upon like how things exist now. And so we're but the thing is, no, we can't do that.
I only worship 2 pagan gods, dude. The only 2 pagan I would worship is I'd worship Athena and.
No, okay. So like as I was saying,
most powerful.
As I was saying, so Christianity or the major religions today are universal religions. They are also religions that are more or less unified theologically. So while the ancient Greek, for the most part,
I wouldn't say Buddhism is very unified.
Well, I'm talking about more or less the non-Eastern religions.
Okay.
So, for instance, of course, you have schisms, and then you have different like denominations and sects, but more or less, they all have their dogma is all rooted in the same like canonical for instance, Christianity. It's all mainstream or all pretty much every branch of Christianity that is practiced today is Nicene. That's just an example. But the thing is,
the Mormons.
The Mormons are just
Mormons are the Jehovah's Witnesses.
No, Jehovah's Witnesses are worse than the Mormons. I mean, Mormons are actually nice.
Wait, are the Coptic Nicene?
No. Oh yeah, they are. Coptic are Nicene, but they have No, but what I was saying, but whereas we need to remember ancient religions, they did not have the concept of a church there was no one single binding institution. The concept of a unified church, like a universal church, is actually more or less inspired by the way that the Roman Empire was structured. Because if you think about it, the Roman Catholic Church, in many respects, was a repository for many classical ideas. Like you had the Near Eastern, like the Near East, you had the Jews. They provided the mythology and they provided the theology, and then you had the Greco-Roman classical world, which provided the metaphysics.
So, Politicrat, can we allow Coda to have his turn about why 2021
Yes.
is worse?
I'm such an attention whore. That's all I want.
Okay, Dakota.
I think it's going to be a worse year. I think the second strain is a spook. There's been multiple strains since at least April.
We're already
I'm
in
not
the
really
fourth
sure.
wave.
Yeah, I'm not really sure why they're singling it out here, other than they're trying to increase justification for more lockdowns and more restrictive lockdowns. But we're definitely going to have some sort of an unofficial war with Iran. Definitely won't be Congress declared. Trade war with China is definitely going to end. But at the end of the day, our civil liberties are a joke, and people don't trust vaccines or authority figures nearly as much as they did before this year. So 2021, definitely, the government's going to have to come up with some way to bring back trust in any of the institutions, because we don't trust the voting process, Congress, the Senate. We don't trust the doctors anymore because they're dancing on TikTok and people are dying from the vaccine.
Honestly,
I don't know how it's going to work out.
And so what's funny is crowdfunded government, wherever you are crowdfunded, would hate me for saying this right now.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace, crowdfunded. No, but at this point, I can't believe I'm saying this, but the only branch of, or the only facet of government that I even vaguely trust right now is the Supreme Court.
But why though?
Purely federal.
Why?
They
What
threw
do you
out the
trust
election
about it?
thing.
Yeah,
No, because
they don't
no,
take
just-
any important cases, and every important case.
I mean, no, but
every
at
minor
least-
case they just go with the state on.
So there's
Yeah.
the only reason I say this is because at least they tend to stick to precedent.
Well,
What makes you think the precedent is any good?
they're
It's a
refusing to
weird-
hear.
Fair
They
point.
refuse to hear cases. Like there was that one, the one staffer for one of the Supreme Court judges that point blank was like that they were screaming at each other in like the chamber, and like, we can't vote on this right now. Like it's different than it was like years ago. We have riots right now in the streets. Like the riot should affect their voting at all.
All they do is sit in their fancy robes and look good while the rest of the world burns. They don't do
Yeah.
anything to change the status quo.
Nothing at all.
The
I'm not
problem
saying
is
they
the
need to be
status quo
activist
is
judges.
ever
No,
changing.
what conservatives did essentially was a gamble. They thought, oh, if we take the Supreme Court, we'll be able to do all of this shit, blah, blah, blah. Truth is, it backfired. And the reason it backfired is especially new Supreme Court judges don't want to do shit. Because the thing is, if they pushed it too far, there are things that could be done in revenge whenever Democrats get power again. Even if the election was overturned for Trump, he won't be president forever. And eventually what they could do is something like, cool, we're just going to raise the number of Supreme Court judges. We've done it before. We can do it again. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, that idea, the idea packing the court legitimately
So
scares
the
me.
whole thing is the thing is that what the conservative judges on the Supreme Court are doing right now is desperately trying to appeal to the liberal Democrats. You know, they have no hope with
Not quite.
Democrats. But essentially what they want to do is they want to say, hey, so we're not going to step on everything you do, and in exchange, please don't fuck us. And Biden, because Biden doesn't want to fucking shake the boat, acting like Biden's going to be a revolutionary president is a fucking joke. He's going to do jack shit, basically. But he wants that. He doesn't want to
He's going to no. He's no. The thing is, Biden is actually. I think
Supreme Court
Biden might move to the right. Like my theory is, Biden's going to move more to the right because he knows, or at least the establishment knows. I don't know if he knows really much of anything because he's not all there. But I think that with Biden, so he's going to start moving at least more to the right, at least relatively speaking, because he knows he has the Democratic establishment knows like 100% they have far more to gain from the right, or at least gaining right-wing support in appealing to them than
He has no reason to do that,
No,
though.
I would not say that's true.
He has to have a reason to want
they're going
those
to
voters.
they're going to continue to try and strike the narrow balance, and they're going to fail. But I think it's
look at the
unknown
DNC convention, though. Look at the convention. Like,
what about the convention? It's meaningless now.
I mean, it was no, but I'm saying, but like in terms of the kind of people that they were bringing on to speak, there were like maybe like 3 left-wing people who like actually like on the
No,
on,
don't
like,
get me wrong.
and 2 of them endorsed Bernie Sanders.
It's gonna take a while. That's the truth. It's gonna take a while for the DNC to go further left, but it probably will. Just
I don't think
because,
so.
look, here's the thing: progressive politics are more popular than mainstream, normal, liberal, democratic politics. The same way.
No, they're not.
They're
same
not.
way that alt or further right views are more interesting than mainstream conservatism. Am I saying
That's not true.
Am I saying better? No, I'm not saying better. I am saying more interesting. Admittedly, more interesting can be in a bad way. There's such thing as more.
What does that mean, though? What do you mean?
The fact that they're more interesting doesn't mean they're more popular, and it certainly doesn't mean they're more popular with the people that are in power.
No, look, I took a class on this. Here's the reason. It's higher energy and higher engagement. Politics and a lot of elections are run extremely goddamn similarly to a marketing campaign. It doesn't it matters on the day itself, but everything leading up to the day, you want the highest energy people behind you.
You're starting to sound like a neo-reactionary.
No, that's the problem from a marketing perspective. I'm not saying you dive full into that the way Trump did. You do the way Biden did. That's how he fucking won the election.
Let me pop in here real quick.
He made the promises to progressives while also not panicking mainstream Democrats.
So
Let me pop in here real quick. The idea that Republican voters from the beginning, Republican voters even thought they had control of anything is a joke. The dichotomy that the left is the left and the right, it doesn't really mean anything. They're all the establishment. The Republican Party constantly makes agreements with the Democratic Party.
Conservatism.
They chop that up to be like they need to have bipartisan agreement on voting. Ideologically, they're not that different.
Exactly. No, and then we also need to
share
remember
donors.
Conservatism is also just progressivism driving the speed limit.
That exactly.
Basically. No, the thing is, and so this is what's interesting. So so there was I don't know if you guys remember Outrumer, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
No, so he was basically talking about how his whole analysis of it, his whole theory is that the Republicans are more or less the outer party, and the Democrats are the inner party. The basic it's all a not necessarily a false flag, but the mainstream Republicans are they are the kind of conservatives that are on the 3x5 card of allowable opinions, more or less. And they are, those are the sanctioned, that's like sanctioned conservatism. And the Democrats, more or less, they allow them to hold those opinions. And because the thing is, it ultimately bolsters them.
That is a two-way street, because Democrats also have what is allowed to be like progress for, like it took Democrats forever to finally say, yeah, we support gay marriage. Were there quite a few who probably supported it before? Sure, but the problem is Democrats had to wait their goddamn time for that because they move very, very, very fucking slowly.
And the thing is, so that's why I don't think that's why I'm very critical of the theory that a lot of people on the right hold, that everything it only moves left. It's constantly moving left, and that the left always will pull the right with it. Yeah, there is some truth to it, but at the same time, I think it's more of a symbiotic thing. At
the moment, that's only true on the social side. If you're talking about economics itself, no.
Economically, it's stayed consistently centrist in terms of
economics is the philosophy of the urbanites.
So
people on the ground don't care about that.
Exactly.
Unless they're told to care about that.
No, I like economics.
Just kidding.
Economics are interesting. However, there are more important philosophical and academic schools. And I say that as somebody. I say that as some.
I
and
think
I
you're
say
saying that as someone who is
Well.
focused on philosophy.
No, I say that actually as somebody who.
Are you kidding?
I
Jacob
say that as somebody who has a background in econ.
So can
All right.
So can I get to my
Yeah.
take on 2021, or are we
Yes,
gonna keep
yes,
on
Bolt.
going at a tangent?
Oh, we still
Yeah,
haven't
well-
gotten there. Wow.
Yeah.
No, you
Bolt.
you really need to stay focused. That's why I barely come on, and also I work too. So.
Wow, what are you, productive or something? Quit your job and take your government check, you tool.
2021. Let's see. Will it be worse or better? On the grand scheme of things, we're probably going to see more revolt against globalization, against the neoliberal status quo, and tension between the United States and the Chinese is definitely worth looking at. And I'm also kind of excited to see what's going to happen in 2021 between the two great powers of the world. So my prediction is there's going to be a U.S.-Sino relations continue going to deteriorate, and I am predicting there's going to be several coalitions to pretty much contain China. Also selectively working with China on smaller issues such as the Korean Peninsula and the South China Sea. So, will it be worse? Not necessarily. Will it be bad? It's more so based on your perspective. I'm just kind of excited to see what drama it's going to have, what type of political drama and theater is going to come forward.
At this point, I've come to the point where I just like to sit back and watch. It just makes me feel a lot more. I feel a lot more calm just being an outsider. I just feel a lot less stressed, and it's just like, then you could just like write about the shit that happens. Be the one who records history as it is, as you watch it.
Isn't that a nice feeling? Just being relaxed and not exactly caring, but kind of watching the world burn.
So yeah, it's like you don't care. No, you don't.
The fire.
No. Yeah,
it was always burning.
Yeah, we didn't start the virus. No, but no, I actually do think that I was talking about this with somebody I knew the other day. Billy Joel should rewrite the song "We Didn't Start the Fire." And what he should do is he should make it all about 2020.
It's just 2020.
No, so he should release it. There's enough content. And so what he should do is then he should release it as a single and then donate.
Lamont is fucking dead. Blew a hole in his head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this really has been 40 years in 12 months.
Oh yeah. Bro, I've aged way too much. I'm like almost in my 30s at 20.
JR.
Yes.
Did you? There's a channel. Did you see that somebody made a parody, or early on in the year, called "This Year is a Dumpster Fire"? Did you see he did a new one 2 months ago?
No, I didn't.
So he updated it 2 months ago, and I was saying maybe like a few days before that, it's like that song is so outdated because this year is just major headline after headline, and this was 2 months ago. It's already outdated again.
I mean, maybe just in terms of election stuff, yeah. But honestly,
it's slowed down a little, but it's still
definitely
pretty outdated.
Down. Like I'm just waiting for something I'm just waiting for like us to go to war with China or something. And so this may just me being like a complete black pill doomer at this point, but so at first I thought that 2020 like there would be an upside to the COVID. And that upside would be, okay, finally, something to unite us. We can always unite against this. It's something that's completely apolitical. It's a virus. There we go. Then it got politicized. Okay, but at this point, do you know what I think? I quite literally think the only thing that will unite the country?
Nothing will.
Yeah,
$1,000 a month.
War with China.
Yeah, but that's not going to happen.
Great, so let's break apart the country then. That's the only thing.
War
No,
with China is not going to
I'm
happen
not-
as
no,
long
I'm
as
not-
Biden is in office.
Okay, I'm not calling to go to war with China. I'm just
Please
saying that
do.
I am.
Bro, you do realize like we would be fucked
we'd
economically.
still win. We
I'm
would
not a
win.
I don't
neocon,
care.
We
but
might
please
win.
call for war against China.
No,
Look,
so
I'm
no,
just saying, you
no.
know,
I think we should just
you know how
talk with
many
them.
aircraft-
We should.
You know how many aircraft carriers China's going to have finished building by 2020? Was it? It was 2024
Three more.
or
They're gonna have three more.
2026?
Okay.
No,
No,
2 or 3.
it's actually 15. It's 16.
No, that is ridiculous.
They're
China
not
is
building
the
all of-
enemy of the human race.
They are.
They're not necessarily building them.
What were you talking about, Jews again? Or no?
Maybe they
No,
claim
Chinese people.
They claim
Not the people, the government.
they claim they're selling them.
And the,
Oh.
the thing is, well, but the people the Chinese people disproportionately love their government, and it's not, has nothing to do with
Well, I mean, they
indoctrination.
kinda
Well, they say that they love their
No,
government.
it's part of
for obvious reasons.
it is part of the cultural zeitgeist. For instance,
I
like
know.
you know,
To be
I
fair,
know.
Jacob, if you had
part
a
of their it's part of their
if you
part
had
of their
a
cultural
gun to your head and it was Ronald Reagan and he put a gun to your head and he was like, "Hey, so you
Hey.
love
Do you like
How you doing?
trickle down
you love America,
How about I
right?
trickle down your pants, baby?
You like America, right? You want
You
to
like America?
trickle down with the rest of them,
Mm.
right?"
George
And it's like,
Bush. That's George. You're talking. That's not
It's
Reagan.
both.
That's Bush.
Yeah,
It's
but
both.
the big difference is that
Reagan
Xi
talked
Jinping
more
would
about
do that to you, be like, hold a gun to your head, do you love China? But then regardless of your answer, even if you said, yeah, I love China in perfect Chinese, you're still going to go to the re-education camp for like 4 years right afterwards.
No, but
Well,
the
it's
thing is,
interesting.
regardless,
Iran isn't like
Politicrat
this.
does.
There are no nations at the wealth level of China that love their government as much as Chinese citizens. They genuinely do.
no, it's
I
been
mean,
like
we get
no, but the
people
thing
out
That
of
is
China
fair.
for
There
years.
is a
It's been
very
like-
deep cultural
it-
thing
it-
there
it-
going
it's
back.
Not like
as it
Iran.
used to the
Iran,
imperial
most
days.
of them are like Persian,
it has
but
been
that
like
doesn't
this.
mean that all of them are
To be fair,
completely Iranian.
a lot of them are a lot of that's because a lot of them are fed misinformation, and B, there were a few things that have been done recently that
I don't know.
they redid healthcare, which was kind of nice for people, and they have new worker protections. I'm not defending China. The truth is most people
Yeah.
in China don't give a shit about all of the
Let
foreign.
me scoop by
They
you here.
like hierarchy. The idea of authority, the idea of
Hmm.
that cohesion gives them purpose.
New
Similar to the idea.
rights
no, the
instead
thing
of
is-
I don't think
one
this is fair to the
suicide
Chinese
net,
people.
Instead of
No,
one
no, I'm
suicide
being
net, you get 2 suicide
No,
nets.
I'm being completely. It means something
Yeah.
to them. It gives them purpose. Just like
This is-
I don't
this is
know
weird.
how far we can take that, but certainly
thing
there
is
is
here-
a very
no,
different
here where we
cultural
like-
view of.
like in Western countries, we yearn to be free. In China, they demand to be ruled.
No,
That's how
no.
they
No,
like.
I don't think
Absolutely
you can
not.
take
So
it that
that
far.
means it's okay for the Chinese government to go over to Vietnam.
not saying it
and
is.
other
This
third
is some
world Asian
weird
countries, kidnap a ton of-
neo-colonialism mindset.
No, this
kidnap
is
a-
me.
coming from
No,
kidnap
someone
a ton
who
of
doesn't talk
children
about
and
that
force
shit.
them to work in
no,
sweatshops.
this is
All
no.
I'm
This is
saying
me
that-
criticizing Eurocentrism.
But you're acting like a Eurocentrist. The idea
No.
that the Chinese they love authoritarianism. They
Yeah, it's
love
okay that
stability.
they're oppressed.
But I'm
That's
not
not
saying
why.
Those people that got crushed by the tanks at Tiananmen Square, they were just anti-nationalists.
No, but
like,
what is
they
no?
just
But what
didn't-
is
they
It's
were- they
really
were just
simple.
But there is
influenced
nothing
by
there-
Western propaganda.
There is nothing more Eurocentric than to assume that every single other culture desires freedom and desires democracy and desires all of these
Do you
Western
not say,
ideas.
well, I mean, at the end of the day, at the end of the day, JR, do you think that humans have innate rights or don't you? Because if they do have innate rights, then that freedom is an innate part of the human condition.
So
Regardless of which they choose, they have to have the freedom.
No,
They
the thing is,
killed
not
over
all-
100 million people in China, and then their economy started to grow. Do you
Not
expect a large population to just suddenly say, oh man, I didn't live through 100 million people dying, but things are just getting better
Not saying it's
increasingly
right.
so?
Not saying it's right. I'm just saying it's normal to them, and they don't have as much. Yeah, I mean there are specific.
They love
individuals
their
within the
government
society who do.
because they have seen nothing but economic growth.
It's been like that, but it's
And
been like
also,
that for thousands of years too.
Yes, I know it has.
Do you think that the ancient
Chinese culture has
imperial
been very
dynasties were more authoritarian than the current party?
Just as authoritarian.
It went in and out. Some would be more authoritarian
You
than
think
others.
they're totally equal?
They weren't able to
relatively-
be as effective when they
That's
Okay.
not
were
what he's
the
saying in
ancient
the slightest.
imperial
Like, for
dynasties.
fuck's sake.
No,
The
listen. What I am
dynasties
saying.
would vary in authoritarianism depending on who the fucking had the mandate of heaven and who was ruling at the time. These things were floating out. It's all cyclical. China's
And
extremely.
the reason why people
No, I like
recently
to
think
point.
that
I
is
like to
after
point
the
out there is
Warring
a
States
growing.
period,
There
more
was a growing
empire,
movement
more
at the time within China. Just pointing that out. Like
Say it
the
again.
Chinese people just don't love the Chinese people don't love their government. There's actively growing dissent and protest within the mainland China, and the Chinese government is putting them down.
I mean, you're right, but a lot of those movements are also
the other
funded by the
reason-
West.
China,
Mhm.
but the other thing is China also propagandizes to us as well. They don't want us to know that there are
In the
people who
same
don't
way-
like China. So of course they're going to try and tell the rest
Yeah.
of the world. No, all Chinese citizens love
Yes,
China.
of course they
You have
are.
no fucking clue what you're talking about. Ignore the dude over there we're beating the shit out of because he, like, I don't know, didn't
His
share.
organs are delicious.
I think so too. And let's go back to cannibalism. I want to talk
Wait,
about
wait, wait,
cannibalism.
wait, wait.
Beppis, every time
Why do we have to go
No,
back
not
and
open your
again.
mouth and get
Silence
more
of the Lambs
concerned.
conversation again. Remember
What
the
did
last
you-
midnight, the midnight stream?
Yes, I do. And this is a reoccurring theme. I just really want to know if if you walked into somebody's house, like somebody, a acquaintance invites you over to dinner. It's like a party, right? And you're all like sitting down having a good meal, and then it's revealed that it was human. Do you like throw up or do you take another bite? Like, what do you do?
As a libertarian,
No, down the line.
I would like to
down the
know
line,
how
like-
it was sourced. That is true.
Oh,
I would
okay,
like to
okay.
know
So
how
no.
it was
You don't
sourced.
get to know. You're at the
Oh,
the
no.
fucking dinner table. You're all eating, and it's revealed to you. Like they reveal the human head, and they're like, it's actually people, and they're waiting for your reaction.
Boiling
What
green
do
is
you do?
people.
Well, what I do is
Yeah.
I curse the host to for the rest of their eternal existence.
Okay,
to
let's
be
roll.
dipped in a
I
pool
don't
with a
think
tree
any
with
of my
fruit
friends
Okay, I'm
would
gonna
do that
roll.
to me.
I'm gonna
so.
roll. It looks like you just became their next victim. Okay, Volt, what do you do?
I'll throw up.
You throw up. Let's roll the dice.
listen, as long as
I'm
the
sorry,
meat
dog.
is cooked
You just
medium
became
rare,
their next victim too. Now you, Dakota.
as
what do you
long as
do?
the meat is cooked medium
What do you
rare,
mean by
I
that? What
don't
do you
have a problem.
specifically do? What do you specifically do? You were enjoying the meal up until this
Enjoying the
point in time. Everything tasted delicious, cooked
Okay.
immaculately.
Okay,
But-
I got two questions.
Yeah.
Is it a fancy restaurant, and am I there with friends or family?
No,
no,
you're at
you're
somebody's
over.
house.
You're
It's a dinner
over
party.
somebody's house. It's a dinner
Somebody's house,
party.
okay.
Everything's cooked immaculately, and you're all having a good time. And then just
Okay.
instantly, it's revealed that it was person.
Guess with no context at all. I'm not like they're not like creepy when they're doing
You
it.
don't even know. You like they just reveal it, and they're
Just
waiting for
reveal
your
it?
reaction.
Well, I
you-
wouldn't believe it, but assuming that I did,
No,
as
you
long as,
did unequivocally. You know it's person.
Okay, as long as it's medium rare, I would then ask, where did you get it?
You know what? Let's roll. Okay, so they haven't killed you yet.
Wait,
They
hold
tell
on.
you,
Wait, I'm getting killed now.
no. You're surviving. They're gonna now humor you.
I'll let
Wait,
you
it's a
know.
French-
They say why? Why do you want to know?
My persuasion skill.
No, you don't. You're already dead. Sorry, dog. Dakota.
Okay, all right. Yeah.
Okay, they say why do you want to know?
Shit, I don't know. I would react the way I'm reacting now. I wouldn't be able to figure.
Are you gonna
out-
take another bite?
Yeah, I probably would. I
You
mean, they
just
cooked a nice
joined
meal
the den
for
of
me.
you know what? They shake your hand. You just joined the den of cannibals. You are now forced into their cult as a
Okay.
thrall.
The
You
Bohemian
get to
Grove.
survive another fucking day. Okay. Carl, what about you?
I mean, I am deeply hurt that this person I thought was a friend would break my trust like that. So
Wow,
I mean, I'm leaving.
cannibalism is the limit for friendship.
But
wow.
you're sitting at the table. You're sitting at the table.
It's not that.
They're all
It's
waiting
not
for your
necessarily.
reaction. What do you say? To
Oh,
them?
I'm leaving. I'm walking out the
They
door.
prevent you from leaving. They get in your
Oh,
way.
guess what? I carry.
You've died of dysentery.
You carry? They all got guns too. And you're all at point blank range, and there's more of them than you. What are you doing?
Oh wow!
It's like that scene
now it's a party.
Wow. Okay.
It's like that scene in Pirates of the Caribbean where they're all pointing their guns at each other.
Okay. Let's roll. Okay, so who's gonna shoot first? Let's see.
Oh, I don't shoot first.
Okay, roll.
Okay, well they shoot first, and they
D20.
shoot you in the chest. At
Wow,
point
sucks
blank
for
range.
me.
You are now their next victim. Dakota,
rolled
you
a D20,
survive the
right?
house
Yeah.
of the cannibal.
Okay.
I see this as an
D&D
absolute
now.
win, if I'm totally
Alright.
honest.
Yeah, dude, join me in death. It's better
I'd like
than-
to use my potion of I don't believe in the Holocaust to get
Ooh.
away from this event.
Well, considering you're a thrall now, they've microchipped you.
Fuck.
You can
Are they
physically
rich? How
leave the
rich are they?
household, but
They're
you're
Bill
gonna have to-
Gates. They microchipped you.
Well,
Me.
yeah.
They got me.
Well, they're part of the.
So
they're
they're not
part
just
of the.
pedophiles. They're not just pedophiles. They're also
They're
cannibals.
part of the goblin.
Ah, fuck.
So,
Do I have to attend synagogue now?
well,
Is
so
that a-
you're at the kissing goblin stage right now. So you're
Jesus
really just
okay.
at the peak
Alright.
of where you're gonna lose your soul here. But you're technically a slave, so it's one of those iffy points where if you get away, you get away, and
like
if
a
you don't, you
kinky
don't.
slave or like a regular
Well, I
slave?
mean, like both. I mean, like
Both.
slavery is
Hmm.
inherently extremely sexual, in my opinion. I mean, what's the way to do it?
Are you telling me that the Civil War was the most sexy war ever?
No, sexual war.
I hated
sexy.
their mustaches.
Okay,
What
listen.
about their sideburns?
That
Their
Don't be
sideburns.
racist now.
Sexuality of
Against
what could have
mustaches.
been. I didn't like their beards, and to be fair, they didn't bathe often either. So we're gonna ignore that war.
Yeah, but the
Um,
women didn't either, so it's fine.
Yeah, and eggs were $12.
Their noses would have been used to it.
What do women have to do with this?
Oh, guys. Okay, so there's
Get the
actually
women
one-
out of here. I don't want to hear about women.
Yeah.
I don't like them.
Yeah, we
I don't
hate
like them at
them,
all.
or whatever.
See, that's another reason I didn't like Kill la Kill. There weren't enough dudes.
Okay, that's not true at all. They had
Okay,
Nudist
where were they?
Beach.
Where the fuck were they, huh? There was
They
like
were
four
all
of them.
working for Nudist Beach. That's where they were working.
Yeah, well, I don't care about the ones in Nudist Beach. They were fucking weird. I cared about the
Yeah,
one
that was
guy,
the point.
the one German guy. That was about it.
Demagory was based and red pilled, and you know
I
it.
liked him. Yes, he was one of my favorite characters.
He was the best.
I
Oh.
know he was really large, and his size was contingent upon the scene. They
Exactly.
would, if they needed him to be super large,
That was
he'd
the
be
point.
large.
It's because he was
And
imposing
his
on the
cock
people
and
around
balls
him.
was out though, like all the time. I liked
Yes.
it. I enjoyed that part. The thing I didn't enjoy was the molestation scene.
Listen, if we can keep going back to Kill la Kill, I will love it.
See,
But I
okay,
feel like
the
JR
big thing
wants
is,
more.
The big thing is, I didn't mind the molestations.
So wait, we were
I
just
just thought
talking
it was
about.
odd.
Okay, so now that we are done talking about Kill la Kill, now what we're going to do is we are going to. Why do you keep muting yourself? Now we're going to go and since somebody mentioned the Civil War, that reminds me. This is sort of relevant because a couple days ago, is everybody familiar with that esteemed institution of
There we go.
higher education,
Yeah.
Prager University?
Yeah.
Oh fucking god!
Here we go.
Oh yes, I saw this.
So hold on, it looks like they deleted the video, but
Yeah, because they literally justified. They're like, "Hey guys, slavery was chill."
But what we're going to
Yeah.
do right now is I do not like Sam Cedar, but we are going to. He's the only one
Oh,
who has
Jesus Christ.
he's the only one who has the. Hold on, we're going to take a look at that, and we are going to all cringe together, and we are going to talk about just how fucking. What's funny though also is because they made a video that back in 2015, a pretty woke video that was about how they talked about how the Civil War. Like they were basically so woke with their take on the Civil War back in 2015 that they went too far and were wrong because they said the slave Civil War is just about slavery. They said it wasn't even about economics.
Oh,
But
if
in
you
real-
want, I could get you the Vosh video of him reacting.
No, honestly, Vosh is worse than Sam Cedar.
JR, a vast majority of Americans deserve to be strangled and beaten up with a baseball bat and set on fire. This is
I
a quote
think that's-
from Pennis Drager, okay?
Oh, I thought we were just doing like hot takes.
No.
I was gonna
no,
say I
the
agree,
fake
but
quote,
you know
yeah.
what?
Okay,
Lee's
guys.
home at Arlington House was just 10 miles from Washington's Mount Vernon.
Oh my god.
Today,
Location,
it is the
location,
site of
location.
Arlington National Cemetery. After 30 years of military service, Lee led U.S. Marines to crush the attempted slave rebellion by radical abolitionist John Brown.
Oh
To
god.
crush.
My
crush.
sides.
To
Oh,
crush the slave
God.
rebellion.
They're in orbit.
How dare he free
Oh,
human
no.
beings?
I love that you got this this reaction video from Majority Report, the esteemed channel Majority Report.
Oh yeah, did you see the season finale for the Political Pigpen a couple weeks ago? It was it was all about grifters, and we had like
Charlie
30.
Kirk.
Yep, Charlie Kirk was the first one we talked about. But so we went over like 30 of them.
Candace Owens.
Yep, she was on there too. Everyone you could think of was on there, and we basically went back and forth trying to decide which one were grifters, which ones weren't.
Even Dan Crenshaw?
No, we figured that we didn't do politicians. We did mostly like media people.
Ah, but he's a grifter too.
But so we determined that Sam Cedar is not a grifter. He's just a dick. He's just an asshole, and he has But
I can get that. I can get behind that.
okay.
He doesn't really lie. He just says what he thinks is the truth.
And then for Tim Pool, we agreed he's not a grifter, but he definitely panders.
Most definitely so. I agree.
But then
with that.
and then we agreed Dave Rubin, total grifter.
Oh yeah.
Fucking Dave Rubin, it's so sad. He keeps trying to invite Ben Shapiro over to his husband, he and his husband's anniversary parties, and Ben Shapiro keeps saying no.
Why do you have
Oh my
anniversary
God,
parties?
oh my God.
No, the funny thing is like nobody wants anything to do with Dave Rubin anymore. Like Joe Rogan refuses. Like basically, he kept reaching out to Joe Rogan because he wanted to go
That
on
was the
because of
most
his shit.
sad scene.
Yeah.
We reached out to them several times, but we haven't heard back. And like, bro,
Yeah.
like Joe Rogan's willing to have like fucking what's his face, like what is it?
Milo Yiannopoulos.
Actually, I believe in sex communism.
Well, it's because
the one who sounds
I
like
saw
a
that
Muppet.
compilation video. Everyone's like, "This is the truth." I think that Rubin is not as hated as people believe he is, but definitely for sure, there's an element of people don't want to be on the show anymore.
I mean,
He's crashing in slow motion.
Tucker Carlson doesn't even want anything to do with him anymore. Tucker Carlson doesn't invite him onto his show anymore.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, at that point, you got to assume that what's going to happen is Dave Rubin's going to be in a situation where, wow, no one will be on the show. I guess I have to get more extreme people. I'm calling it now. He's going to have Nick Fuentes on his show by the end of 2021. And I hope he does.
No, the thing is, he stays in the BoomerCon territory.
Well,
He won't belong.
Wait, what about Jordan Peterson? He could have Jordan.
No, Jordan Peterson doesn't even really want anything to do.
Yeah,
with it
they don't
anymore.
want to do him.
Okay,
And
when
he was-
Jordan
and he-
Peterson doesn't want anything to do with you, that's just sad. Jordan Peterson, the motherfucker who claims to be manly but was taken out by apple fucking cider.
What?
What does that have to do with
What are you
anything?
on about? He was addicted to hard drugs and had a terrible reaction.
No,
I
addicted to
I
benzos.
shit you not. He literally had a time where he was like, "Yeah, I drank apple cider."
He was an alcohol. No, he was an alcoholic when he was younger.
Yeah.
That's what he wrote his
Yeah,
doctoral
okay,
dissertation.
that's a different thing. That's
he
not
wrote
that.
his doc- he wrote-
Weird attack on Jordan Peterson.
Yeah, if you are sensitive to anything, that you completely lose your balls in general. You ever get an upset tum-tum, little poopy butted at all? Sorry,
Whoa,
your
hold
balls
on.
just get fucking chopped the fuck off, you pussy-ass bitch.
Holy
Wow.
Anyway, let's continue with this.
damn.
Whoa. And there you go.
21 co-conspirators
Yeah.
seized of federal armor, and all of them were killed or captured, including John Brown, who was tried and hanged
Oh.
for treason.
Yeah,
Lee
they're
deemed-
bragging about that?
Oh, hold on, we'll fast forward to the.
Who funds Sam Cedar?
I don't know. Probably, honestly, it would be funny if it were like the Koch brothers and it was like a false flag, but Sam Cedar doesn't know. Controlled opposition.
a moral and political evil in any country, but considered it a greater evil to the white man than to the black race, since whites are immeasurably better off here
Yeah.
than in Africa.
No, he absolutely, yeah, he believes that.
Why you need a statue?
Oh, that also, yeah. Let's hold on. Oh, here we go. Where is there any? Is there any more? Oh, yep. Here we go.
Dude.
Post-vote, Lee resigned his commission. Despite offers to command Union forces, Lee opted to organize the defense of his native state. After
Native
4 years
states.
as Confederate commander, Lee became an icon of reconciliation
What?
upon his surrender.
That is actually
As
true,
president
but that doesn't change anything.
of Virginia's Washington College, he favored education for freed slaves but opposed their right to vote.
Oh, yeah. Well, so was it.
So I mean, that's basically a moderate for the period, though.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Because I mean, we need to remember.
He freed his slaves. He wasn't the most active fire breather anti-union guy.
No, he was a Southern
pretty
Unionist.
moderate.
Yeah. No, because the thing is, we also need to remember what the white nationalist position today was actually the progressive position back in like the early 1800s.
Oh yeah,
For instance,
Lincoln wanted to deport them.
Yeah, no, Jefferson wanted to create a colony, like a U.S. colony, or like a state, basically. Well, he wanted to create another state in Africa, and he was like, they can have a say in the U.S. government.
Yeah, that was very popular for a long time.
But they have to be they have to be there, and that was a very progressive position back then. But now that's like Richard Spencer's position.
Richard Spencer is a grifter, though. He doesn't have any real positions.
He doesn't
really matter.
No, I was talking about this. I'm in this one server I'm in. It's like an NRX server. We were talking about like Richard Spencer's totally gay. He's totally gay.
What?
I think Richard Spencer's gay.
Yeah, he's gay.
I mean,
like
that's not really
not really relevant.
Does it matter?
Yeah,
no, it doesn't.
Like, he kind of doesn't give me the
kinda.
Ben Shapiro vibe, if you get what I mean.
No. Oh, dick down, calm down, get dick down.
No, well, like he almost reaches the criteria for it, but his head. Like here, look up a picture of Richard Spencer's head. Just type it in.
No, we're gonna finish this.
No,
This is
like his
weird.
head, like his skull.
No. Oh,
Look
are
at
you
his
racialist?
No, I just want you to look at his fucking face. Look at it.
I know.
As far as I'm concerned, Richard
We
Spencer
all
is a
gotta look
glowing.
at it together. I'm just saying, like, there's something about it.
Okay, we're
He
finishing.
Jesus.
this.
died
bartering.
of a stroke in 1870 and is buried beneath Lee Chapel in what's now Washington and Lee University. His legendary warhorse Traveler rests in a plot nearby.
Oh my God! More.
That is crazy.
I hate these people. They're all
I do.
Reddit. I hate them.
They are.
They're just
But-
maximum Reddit. I hate it.
But yeah, these God. But seriously, like honestly, that is like a parody. That like I mean, PragerU has parodied themselves,
Yeah,
like
no,
unintentionally
he's
parodied.
legendary warhorse. What the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
I've never even
PragerU
heard
has
it.
always been like cringe, but that thing with John Brown, that
that's
was
like,
just
that's like
pure
comic book nerd
evil.
shit. That's like, oh yes, and Bartholomew the Third, 14th of his line, was buried here with his legendary warhorse and entombed with his legendary sword, Excalibur.
Dick Scalp.
All right. Yeah. All right. Did you see
Literally
the new
just
left
sounds
wing
like-
PragerU?
Oh, that's awful.
What is that?
Yeah, Gravel Institute. It's
I-
terrible.
I have never heard
Oh yeah,
of that
yeah,
one.
they've been.
What the
Yeah, I
fuck?
mean,
around
they
for a
got
while.
the voice
It's-
actor for Bob's Burgers.
it's
and
weird,
everyone's
I
like, "Oh my god, it's the voice actor for Bob's Burgers! He
What the fuck
sounds
is
so cool."
I appreciate Mike Gravel for what he did with Vietnam, but like,
At least they're
It's-
self-aware, though.
for
At
the
least
Gravel
Gravel,
it's weird.
at least the Gravel Institute is self-aware.
No, they're not
Because-
self-aware.
No, they know what they're doing.
They-
They
no.
know they're grifting. And they've admitted it. They
They-
said we're
they-
going to be. They want to be.
No,
They said they're
it's an
copying
excuse.
PragerU.
They think that what they're saying is truth.
Oh, they do, but they still know they're grifting.
You know you're
No.
grifting and think what you're doing
No.
is true. That's what Hassan does.
I don't even think it's really grifting. I think they're using the term grifting to get people to think like, we're going to fund and watch the Gravel Institute because they're grifters too, and we're going to play the same game. But in reality, we're not actually grifting. We're just actually beating them. It's I don't think they're really.
They just want to win. The thing is, they're winnists.
Yeah.
They believe in
Winnists.
No, that's
Ooh.
their political philosophy. Is winism.
That is a great
Sure it is.
isticism if I've ever heard one.
It's a winism.
It's a
Sure.
great isticism. All
You
right,
know
it's
what?
great.
I think Wincest is probably the worst ship in
Okay,
Supernatural.
hold on. What?
Like, I think it's terrible. I
Hold
think
on.
Sam and Dean Winchester
Okay, what were you saying, Dakota?
should not have sex.
Wait, what? How can you?
Hold
unmute-
on a second.
What is going on?
You said a different word.
Yeah.
I'm going to draw attention to that.
Wincest means something entirely different to people who watch Supernatural.
No, not at all. No.
Hold on.
This is a universal truth that lives within us all. What are you talking about?
You're just trying to pull the conversation back to anime. I can see that
No
I can do it
way,
too.
dog. No way.
And you're treating it like it's some kind of perennial.
You think
This isn't Sophia Perennis.
Supernatural?
I
Supernatural. I don't
Jedi
know.
lies.
Supernatural is not an anime, so I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Oh, so
Wait, when did
we're trying to
Volt
pull
leave?
it to that.
Well, what?
When did Volt leave?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'll finish this video, then I'll head off. I gotta take a quick break, but I'll be back.
Dang.
Okay, that's fine. No, but we're done with it. We're done with the video aspect. But should we watch a Grable Institute video? I've never seen any of them.
Oh Jesus, yeah.
I'd be down.
Pick whatever one is on their featured videos, or whichever one has the. I think whatever their highest
I'll
view
be,
count
right
one is
back,
probably the
though.
one that went trending on Twitter. So pick whatever the highest one is.
I find it hilarious that Grable, Grable was basically a libertarian in a weird way.
I would not say that. I mean, he's always been a progressive, you know.
No,
He's
yeah,
been a
he has been, but
progressive
he's also for
50 years.
he's also for like a flat tax, and he's
They've also co-opted a lot of his.
No, the thing is, he's
his
like no,
personality.
they're taking advantage of him and using him as a
Oh,
face.
yeah. But he's fine with it, apparently.
He doesn't give a shit. He's like 95 years old.
Yeah.
And he just gave him the keys to the castle.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Those two little shit kids.
I'll tell you right ahead of time.
I gotta subscribe.
The one that went viral.
That's true, because I mean, I do really like Mike Gravel. It's really sad that
I like
this
Gravel.
happened here.
I like Gravel. Yeah.
I'll tell you ahead of time. The one that went viral, it's essentially a video with a lot of obvious facts, but then about 2 or 3 minutes in, it immediately descends into some insane
Sorted by
assumptions.
misviewed.
Which one? They only have
Sorted by
views.
misviewed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sort by on the top left, top right.
Yeah, on the top. Yeah.
Top right. What are you, some sort of boomer like Sargon of Akkad?
Dude, I love Carl. Okay, he's gotten in such good shape.
Oh,
like,
this is the
his
one. This is the
body.
one.
Okay, let's watch.
I'm sorry, what?
His teeth are still fucked up, though.
He's British.
Yeah, I know.
There's one thing Americans can agree on. We value democracy. And in a
No,
democracy,
I disagree.
leaders are elected by the people to
Okay, I'm
represent
just
the
gonna
people's
outright
interests.
say democracy is not a value. It was never meant to be a value. Democracy was intended as a tool in order to advance the value. Like America was founded on the principles of life, liberty, and property, not democracy, equality, and materialism. Democracy, equality, and materialism were seen as methods through which life, liberty, and property could be advanced. I think they backfired more or less. But I just hate people who fetishize democracy. I'm not like anti-democracy at all. But the thing is, like, people they fetishize it and people treat it. It's become a religion, and that's what's really scary. It's like, oh, our democracy, and it's like, just stop. I mean, you could like democracy. I mean, like,
I think you're missing the point.
Yeah,
that
at
the majority
some
of the
point
people
it
that say
becomes
that don't actually understand what democracy is or what they're actually saying.
Fair enough.
Well, yeah, but because of that, at some point they are talking about a different thing. There's an equivocation between the political system of democracy and whatever it is they're talking about. But I mean, yeah, they are talking about something different, and you can't just say that, oh, democracy has this meaning and that's not a value. They are talking about something that is a value. I don't like that value, but regardless of whatever
they've made it a value.
call it.
It wasn't supposed to be a value. That's what I'm saying. But they've turned it into a value.
Well, also the quote unquote they tend to have a
parenthesis.
Yeah, tend to have a more middle school civics education.
Yeah, like for instance, they're the people who view history. Oh yes, history is progress. It is linear progress. Like
they view history as the boring class they took in high school, and now they're gonna go to Applebee's to get some din-din.
Applebee's is out of business now.
I wish I
not.
could give them
There was
that
like
much
300
credit.
people at Applebee's like down the street from my fucking house today.
I thought Applebee's went out of business.
No.
Oh,
what
maybe
the
it's just
fuck
the
are you talking about?
Definitely not.
Maybe it was just the Applebee's. You know what? Maybe it was just the ones in my state.
Maybe your Applebee's.
Yeah, you've just doxed yourself, bud.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
Person,
17
one
seconds.
vote. So why does everyone agree that the government doesn't really work for us? Conservatives have an easy answer. Big government is the problem. They say the government infringes
But
on
they like
people's
big
freedoms
government.
and is constantly getting bigger. They
Just
say
like,
that
it's
if we
great.
just defund
Yeah, it's a
expensive government
misunderstanding of
programs,
conservatives.
we could lower taxes for the average American. With that money back in the hands of ordinary people, they say, people could handle their problems on their own. But there's a big problem with that. It's just not true.
Oh,
Sure,
wow.
the US government is big, but not as big as it used to be. As a percentage of the economy,
Here we
federal
go.
spending is smaller
no.
now than it
Starts
was
up
in
with an obvious
1954.
premise and then
In the
devolves
US,
into
spend
lies.
less on government.
We're not talking
than
about
other
percentage, we're
countries
talking
like
about the
Germany or
actual
Finland
mass.
that have lower rates of poverty and higher rates of economic mobility. The American dream is more alive in these big government countries than in America.
No, but they have different.
And there's no truth.
But they have
Yeah,
different
the
values.
only difference between these two countries is the system of governance and
It's about the
political
no.
system. That's the
Germany
only,
and the
that's
United
the
States
only
have two-
difference.
It's about the Weltgeist. I mean, America. I mean, the Volk of America and the Volk of Germany are completely different. They have you need to analyze this from a metaphysical perspective in order to understand this.
That's too complicated for these tiny liberal minds to comprehend.
Well, even if
They're
you
not
made it
liberals,
less
they're
nuanced
leftists.
than that, there's a discernible rise wherein when we opened up our markets to China in the 70s, there was a massive divergence of American standard of living and rate of pay became completely divested from the rest of the economy when we opened up to China.
Yep.
And
That's really underrated.
It was a Faustian bargain.
yeah, and I'm sorry, but that's if you really want to focus on back in the 50s, in the 50s was a completely different fucking America. It's really it's I don't think it's appropriate to even compare the two
Generations
economically speaking, because it's a completely different economic. It's night and day.
Because the thing is, a lot of these people
tax rate.
A lot of these people, for instance, they're in a lot of ways, many leftists are ontologically speaking conservative in that they want to take us back to FDR. They're trying to take us back to a previous status.
You know what? I'd almost be okay with that if it meant we completely boxed China out of the market.
Yes,
dude. If we go back to FDR, that means we have a gold standard. I'm selling.
You know what? I'm fucking actually really okay with that. And you know what? I'm honestly okay with more taxes if we can still maintain a flat tax rate.
What's funny is
and the IRS, I want the IRS to mostly just focus on offshore accounts.
The thing about America is that one of the things about America is that it doesn't know how to collect taxes for shit.
Oh yeah.
What's hilarious is that back before we had a progressive tax, we actually were able to get more taxes. Because the thing is, with the progressive tax, there are just so many loopholes that happen with that. But however, if you get rid of the progressive tax and you institute instead maybe a national sales tax as an alternative, then you would there is no way to get out of paying your taxes in that case, in that instance. That's kind of how it works.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
no, I completely agree. Because and that's one big thing too. The wealthier you are, the more tax guys you can hire and more lawyers you can hire that are experts in tax law to help get you out of those loopholes. So honestly, even though there's a progressive tax, you still end up mostly just taxing the middle class.
I mean, it's a weird thing, isn't it? People seem to assume that because we originally didn't have this progressive tax system, that it's we have it now and the Gilded Age is over. Therefore, the progressive tax must have somehow solved the Gilded Age problem of all these big companies that have massive control over people's lives.
And isn't it technically
completely
also
unrelated? It has nothing to do with each other.
And so the whole idea about conservatism is about preserving the institutions and the status quo and stuff we have. People defending, for instance, Social Security and all of these programs, like the Great Society programs under LBJ, that is basically a conservative position. And if you think about it, people who are trying to change that, a lot of people who are for instance, libertarians, they are not really trying to take us back to 1776. I mean, some are, but a lot of them aren't really trying to do that. A lot of them are trying to take it in a direction that in some superficial way that may resemble that, but is actually completely different. So,
I'm going to say something a little bit anti-conservative. I kind of like the New Deal. A lot of aspects of it I thought were a really good idea.
I
think
it
would not
only,
have been effective without government
the
power.
New Deal only gave people hope.
Why do you love burning crops, Dakota?
There were some aspects of it that weren't too good. I think one of the most important aspects of the New Deal was most assuredly the Tennessee Valley Authority. Without that, the state of Tennessee and parts of Kentucky and Alabama were virtually uninhabitable.
Again, you always stand the Tennessee Valley Authority.
I do not do that.
Or that was.
Wow,
it's true.
That's Sharonian.
Sharonian is correct. He lives there.
Yeah,
it's great. The Tennessee Valley Authority was a great idea with all its modern problems. The fact of the matter is, government is very effective at these large scale projects because they just steal money from lots of people. It's just how it is.
Okay, but let's go to. Have you ever read Hazlitt Economics in One Lesson?
No.
No, I highly suggest it. It's really short.
Link me in the private.
Oh, short. Oh, sure. Yeah. It's definitely, you can get free online, easy. It's a quick read. The idea is that you have to look at the long-term consequences of things. You can't just look at the immediate effects of policies. Yes. Basic idea there is you can't just say that, the Tennessee Valley Authority took this money and did all of these great things with it. You have to ask how, if they didn't do that, how would those resources and money have been used? We don't know because
the hypothetical.
Yeah, exactly. Stimulus, like the whole stimulus thing and spending, that only work, and not even all the time. And when I say it only works during a recession, I mean the worst of the worst of the worst. That is the only time where like Keynesian, like certain aspects of Keynesian economics work. Like that can't be the status quo though for the entire economy.
Because even with this stimulus that's going to happen, you're gonna see literally if you took,
I'm not against the stimulus bill.
I kind of am.
I just want my 2K.
But at the end of the day, just in the past few months, just certain products, for tech products, the inflation that's gone up, and just the varying of price, there was this one thing in my cart that I wanted to get in Amazon, and it went. I know this is extremely anecdotal,
Amazon.
but no, I'm saying that something going from $100 to $150 in just a few months, putting that much money as in a stimulus package, I think will actively devalue the dollar, especially it's not gonna.
Okay, so
I think a better economic solution is being able to have a stimulus package where you focus on people who can't go back to work, so elderly and infirm, and allow small businesses to open back up.
So this is what I said.
I think a lot of the
this is what I say. So if the government
QE this year,
if the government is going to forcefully keep businesses shut, they owe the people money.
What does it matter? It's our tax money back. That's money you're not going to get in your tax return.
Why don't they just temporarily suspend the income tax?
Yeah, that's
exactly.
Another thing that
why don't they do that?
Have them suspend the income tax.
Suspend corporate and income tax. It's not like Amazon pays corporate tax anyway.
Yeah, it's I'd much rather have things open back up and suspend the income taxes. I don't see why that isn't a more feasible outcome, because ultimately, I'm an adult, you're an adult. If I need to stay home, then I can make that decision for myself. And another big thing that people completely ignore is the fact that the majority of local law enforcement isn't enforcing these mandates at all. They're not.
I think that
they're not. I feel like that
probably depends on location.
I'm saying the smaller, if you the smaller police departments, they're not enforcing these mandates. It's completely beholden on the state police and the majority of the states that have these extremely stringent lockdown policies. It's beholden on the state police to enforce it, and the state police are smaller. They don't have the same manpower and jurisdictional ability as local departments, and local departments aren't enforcing it.
You would say that.
The problem is that the state doesn't enforce it directly. They do it the sneaky sneaky way they always do it is that, oh, well, if your business allows people in without a mask, then we're going to fine your business. We're not going to send in a
and then they literally will do it how they did it in Michigan.
It's
how
got to be enforced.
Well, no, in Michigan they would fine businesses, and then all the fines and the tickets were completely thrown out of court because they weren't based in law. It was completely meaningless tickets. So like nothing actually stuck at all. The only state that I've heard of that's actively having their local law enforcement like prevent businesses from opening is New York. That's it.
Like, I hate New York.
Oh, dude, I fucking hate New York. And like even the other, even Michigan. California as well, but even places like Michigan where it's like it's like with Gretchen Whitmer being this big Democrat, like whatever.
Oh my God.
there's the state police aren't fucking anywhere doing anything.
I can't believe Whitmer. I can't believe the idea that in any universe you can justify blocking the purchase of some goods out of a store that's open.
And
that's amazing.
Literally, like they're like. It's actively not enforced by local law enforcement.
What's it like to jump through hoops like that to just say you can't buy some of these things from stores? You can only buy the things that you need.
Oh, it was like that. It was like that.
It's all just.
It was like that in the beginning. It was like that in the beginning part of the lockdown.
It still
it's
is.
Not like that. No, it's not.
They're not even. They don't even try to be rational.
I don't know.
It's not like that right now.
You might know more info on me. I'm seeing still.
No, it was.
News stories about this.
It's not.
Maybe it's others. Maybe it's not Whitmer. Maybe it's another state.
No, it was like that in the beginning of the lockdown.
It definitely was like that with Whitmer.
Yes, it definitely 100% was like that,
states.
but it's not like that right now.
I kind of like just take all the Midwest states, kind of cram them together because I can't really tell the difference too easily.
Well, Michigan looks like a hand.
Well, no, I mean culturally, they're very similar. Michigan's still got a lot of that Yankee influence, but Southern Michigan is effectively very similar to Iowa and Indiana.
No, it's not at all. It's completely divergent culturally speaking.
They are very much not. I can assure you.
Well, for one, there's a lot of distinct differences. The biggest thing is that dialect-wise, 25% faster speech patterns.
Oh, I apologize. I confused Michigan with Wisconsin. I keep doing that.
Well, there we go.
That is my bad. Wisconsin is what I just said.
Yeah, Wisconsin has like.
I apologize.
Wisconsin's not even fucking real.
It's not real.
My entire dad's side of the family is from Wisconsin, and I won.
No, they're not. They're not. You don't have any family in Wisconsin. Wisconsin's not even.
I've never seen them.
You're totally just trying to gaslight us. Wisconsin's not even fucking real, you liar.
Oh, hey,
Wisconsin's fake. Ohio's fake.
Strange seconds. Strange seconds. You and I both know that there's no such thing as Guam, right?
Oh yeah.
No, Guam is real.
What the fuck?
No. It's an inside. It's an inside joke.
No, it's not. It's not an inside joke. You're being 100% legitimate with
the
me.
Guamish.
Isn't that a kind of fruit? I've never heard.
The Guamish don't exist, guys.
Is that what they call people from Guam? The Guamish?
That's what we told Jackson Dean.
There's like several 100,000 people that live on Guam. I think they're real.
Here's the explanation.
North Korea killed them all.
Everybody.
We were at camp one day, and someone one day, this small kid who's like, we were shitty teenagers, but this small kid who I think played far more innocent than he actually was. You agree with me on that, right?
Totally.
That dude was not as innocent as he let on.
Dude, he had a dirty mind. He always talked about like.
You have a dirty mind.
How did you unmute yourself?
What?
I never mind.
Hey, if you don't want to hear the background noise, I mean.
No, I muted you. I don't know how you unmuted yourself. Never mind.
I'm God. Clearly, I'm my own God. Is my.
You just don't have any power over. You can't. Anyway, you can't censor us, Politicrat.
Anyway, strange seconds.
JR just abdicated his channel to you.
One day he said. So one day he said, "What was it?" He was like, "What is Guam?" And we were like, "Guam isn't real."
And he said that he said his family was from Guam. And we were like, no.
We just basically just kept going on about how Guam isn't real. It's a made-up fictional land.
Yeah.
It's a modern-day fantasy like Atlantis.
Yeah.
Well, 30% of Guam is owned by the Department of Justice.
I believe. Yeah, it is. That's true.
Did you also know that over 50%
the rest of it's owned by the
U.S.
Department of
landmass
Defense.
is owned by the federal government as well?
Also, hot take. It was we should have kept the Philippines.
That is a very hot. That's a burning hot take. Wow.
I agree. I've been saying that for at least 4 months now since I've been aware.
The U.S. committed more war crimes in the Philippines than they did in Vietnam.
No, the funny thing is, a lot of Filipinos agree, though. A lot of Filipinos would have preferred it to have become a U.S. state. Like, I've talked to so many Filipinos.
I hate to say it would have been better than what they have now. I'll say that much.
Yeah,
they have Duterte. They execute drug dealers. I mean...
Yeah, maybe now, but not in like 1905 or whenever the occupation was.
That wasn't a real year.
What?
No, 1905 doesn't exist, just like Guam.
Sure.
Exactly. Or Finland.
Or the Queen. Or Ohio. It's like, do you guys remember that movie Megamind?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah,
He was so
I've
hot.
never seen it.
So one of the best lines in the movie was when Jonah Hill, the character he voiced, who was like an evil superhero, he came out and he said, "You need to come back to." He was like, "You need to come back or come into reality. There is no Santa Claus, there is no Easter Bunny, and there is no Queen of England." Anyway,
I like that. It's very good.
Yeah.
I think we shouldn't have gotten rid of Cuba either, and we should have kept ties with Liberia because Liberia is an absolute shithole.
Liberia, we should have annexed
Liberia
Cuba.
is literally where we dump all our dirty info.
I don't think we should have annexed Cuba, but at least keep it as a territory in the same sense of Guam.
No, we should have annexed Cuba. That's what I said.
Why?
No, I said back during after the Spanish-American War, like we took Puerto Rico,
Okay.
like what we should have.
We
done
had control of Cuba, so why do you think that we should have annexed them specifically?
When I say I mean in the same way we did with Puerto Rico. Never mind. We should do it.
They were a territory. We gave them up.
No, Cuba was never a U.S. territory.
It wasn't? I thought it was.
No, we occupied them for like a year, and then we were like, okay, you guys create your own republic.
Oh,
and then the communists took over.
We should have annexed them. Yeah.
So okay, let's continue with Prager or left Prager you, whatever. Gravel you.
To the claim that the bigger the government, the less free the people. In fact, the countries at the Cato Institute, a libertarian think tank, ranks as freer than the United States.
Every time.
Have much larger governments relative to their populations than the United States. A large government doesn't mean an unfree population. You see, government isn't a problem in and of itself. In a country as sprawling and diverse as America, there needs to be an institution to build infrastructure and inspect food and to put out fires.
They literally just made the roads argument.
I was about to say the same
they
thing.
don't turn a profit. Think of the U.S. Postal Service, which provides hundreds.
To be fair, Postal Service is pretty base.
Listen, I go to FedEx. I pay three times the cost if I go to the USPS. I love the Postal Service.
We can do this with extreme balkanization and no federal government. So I don't know why we need.
No. The thing is, so I'm for the Postal Service, but at the same time, they should not have a monopoly on mail delivery.
At the same time, it should go back to how it was, wherein they can carry and have the power to fucking execute you if you commit a federal crime.
Well, the Postal Service doesn't have a monopoly, so.
On mail
they have a monopoly on a first class mail.
Do they really?
Legally, legally, absolutely.
Well, they should go back to being a part of the
First class is
Fed.
defined as something within USPS. Is that really fair to say that they have a monopoly on it, like McDonald's has a monopoly on the Big Mac?
Domino's does not have a monopoly on the Big Mac.
Did I say Domino's? McDonald's. Sorry.
There is certainly trickiness with definitions, but they're not on the
McDonald's.
same level. And certainly today's better with the UPS and FedEx. Today's better, but I mean, if you look at the history, it's been bad. Remember the American Postal Service, Lysander Spooner's whole entrepreneurial adventure or venture. And he got sued and taken out because he was infringing on the legal monopoly that the post office has had since Benjamin Franklin.
I mean, I admit I'm not aware of the history of the U.S. Postal Service, but in its current form, it's pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
I mean,
No,
compared to
yeah.
other countries, it's fantastic.
Oh, so
yeah.
real,
I mean, they
real quick,
suck right now.
real
Right
quick,
now,
we're
they
gonna-
can't get anything delivered like this month because it's so.
Mine was
poorly
fine. I don't know about
organized.
you. Like,
So
what do
we're
you
going-
think of that?
completely fine.
So
Yeah, there's-
everybody, ladies or lady and gentlemen, we are going to return to this video in a second, but we're gonna diverge real quick because I think all you guys are gonna love this. Hold on.
All right.
Dakota's gonna laugh as soon as it comes up.
Ooh,
Mm.
humor. That's the medicine that I'm after.
Yeah.
The thing that keeps the darkness away. I love it.
Where is it?
Bruh.
Bruh.
Bruh backwards is Herb.
The bye-bye darkness.
Hold on.
I hope we can
Dude,
get.
dude,
So-
I got a fat
so
frog.
cannibalism,
I
you
got a-
know,
Hold on, guys,
I
be
didn't
quiet
tell
real
you
quick.
about the frog I got. It's
got a frog?
extremely obese.
Is it gay?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I can't find
his
him.
name?
He's in his tank. I'm next
What's
to
his
him right
name?
now. I haven't named him yet.
Oh my god.
Name him Alex.
No.
Matt,
Why Alex?
sweetheart, can we name the frog Alex?
Why Alex?
But
Alex Jones, turning the freaking frogs gay.
Alex is
Alex
not
Jones,
that,
because he's a
though.
big fat frog.
Alex is a handsome, healthy, brain force ingesting man, and I will not
Has plenty- a
stand
lot
for
of
the
vitality,
insult of
I'd
this
say.
man. He is very vital.
I
to
never
this
intended
democracy.
it as an insult.
Well, his name is Alex now.
All right, that's
After
fine.
Alex Jones.
What about Slippy?
I like
No,
when
I
Roger
don't like
Stone was
Slippy.
on Jones's show. That was fantastic.
Okay, I guess no, not Slippy, because that's what PewDiePie named his gay ass frog before he killed him.
Well,
Yeah, isn't Slippy reference to Star Fox?
What did you say?
Mickey.
Slippy
No, not
is
Mickey.
Slippy Mickey.
Star Fox, yeah.
Where is he?
Politicrat, where's this thing that you wanted us to see?
That's what I'm pulling up. Hold on.
Okay, all right. I'm patient.
Okay. Oh shit.
I hope we can get into the whole, if possible, the whole crazy shit in Oregon with the drug legalization, because that's amazing, frankly.
That is base as
That is based as a
Disagree.
No, I think
Oh,
it's
wow.
great because at least all the or at least all the druggies will end up ODing.
Listen, I
Here's
think
the thing,
that
I'll
legally
admit.
the government should not like ethically tell you that you should do this or that.
No, I
But
completely
you
agree.
know when they
I'm
legalize it, a
100%
bunch of people are going to become druggies. That's not
Oh,
good.
yeah.
I don't know that.
No,
You know
I
that.
believe the government's
If
my
doing
state-
what to do.
If my
And
state
also, if you're
legalized
talking
drugs tomorrow, it
about,
won't be doing anymore.
They decriminalized. They didn't.
Oh my god!
I like decriminalization. I don't like legalization. It's very different.
They
Okay,
didn't
yeah,
le-
sure.
They didn't legalize everything. They decriminalized.
Oh, they did?
most
Oh, that's
things.
my bad. I thought they
Yeah,
legalized it.
no, they decriminalized all drugs.
It's
The
still
only
going to cause an increase.
They
though.
made one drug legal. The only drug that they made legal was they made psilocybin legal,
Which
and
is
they didn't
fine.
do that in all
I look
Oregon.
forward to seeing whether we're right and whether there's a big uptick because I don't see why there
There's
would
going to be a huge uptick.
I doubt it.
Yeah, I look
No, there
forward
was
to
a
how
huge
that,
uptick in
seeing how that
marijuana
turns.
smoking.
Okay, that is very different. If you look at it this way, Portugal had a terrible heroin rate. It was about roughly at, I believe, 1%, like, which is an insane amount. Literally, like one.
There's
in
definitely a
100
difference
people
between drug to drug.
the
for
heroin.
sure.
However, when they what they did is they decriminalized it. They legalized possessing it in small amounts. You know, they made it, of course, still illegal for like dealers and stuff. They set up safe injection sites. You know, clean needles, and they offered instead. And they offered rehab to people, basically. You know, if you were arrested because you were publicly high, because that was still a crime, of course. It's still a crime to be publicly
I think you've got some very important missing
It's not a
information.
crime to be
Most
drunk in
of the-
public in the United
The rate
States.
fell. The rate completely fell through the roof. I agree with you.
You're right. But
Increase
that's
in
not the
rate.
same thing.
I know we'll
It's
see an
not
increase in rate
comparable.
of some drugs, but in the most harmful drugs, I believe we'll actually.
Okay, I can. I
Hold on a
cannot.
second. Hold on a second. Wait. The thing about Portugal is that you're right that the rates did go down. The people who had problems with heroin were primarily in the biggest cities like Lisboa and Porto. These are people.
True.
These are people that
right.
are already getting these hard drugs from multiple different other countries because none of it's native to Portugal, of course. Some of it is a very small amount.
Yeah,
These are people that were already in
heroin-
terrible situations. These were already
most
people that were very
heroin
low
at this
income.
But not only that, another
most
massive.
heroin comes from China, honestly, at this
Yeah,
point.
so it's, in the United States, you got all these different drugs that a vast portion of the population consume anyway. It's not like it's just the most poorest people in these small centers of the country.
Well, not
It's
only
pretty
that,
widespread.
another massive thing too is that you have to split it up state by state. You can't look at it in a federal, like United States sense. You have to look at it at each state for what it is, because there's different laws that govern each state concerning drug consumption, drug usage, and the way that it's enforced.
You gotta go smaller too.
You can't look at it as a federal, like, you can't look at it federally. You have to look at it state by state and see which states are actually doing well when it comes to combating drug usage and when it comes to legalization. I think looking at it federally completely obscures the picture.
I mean, I never.
There's differences between city to city in Colorado too.
I never said to look at it.
You're comparing
federally,
Portugal
honestly.
to the United States.
Yeah, Strange isn't necessarily doing that. I don't think that's a fair.
I believe, yeah, let it still be done state by state.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying
think
to actually get a
Portland made
better
the right
understanding of
move.
what's occurring. Especially if you're going to compare a small European country such as Portugal to the United States, you have to compare it
Strange
to
wasn't
to
doing
a
that
state.
at all. I think you've lost something somewhere.
Okay.
I was. Yeah, I wasn't trying to say we're exactly like Portugal. I was giving an example of how that's worked, but I wasn't saying. I know that's not exactly how it would work in the U.S. as well, and they also did it in a very different way than Portland is doing it. Essentially,
Oregon.
What it really depends, honestly, what we need to see is if they decriminalize it, I think we will see an uptick in rate if they just like decriminalize it and do nothing. If they do something maybe similar to what Portugal did and also finance.
Well, that's a big thing
rehab
too, is that each state reacts to it differently.
better.
Like there's a lot of states that already have programs of that nature,
I
similar
know,
to
yeah.
Portugal. So that's another big thing too. That's a
I
massive
know,
part of it.
state by state, I know, and that's why we see different rates across different states. And I think it's a good move on Portugal. Honestly, I just think like psilocybin should be legal. I don't really think it's that harmful, and it's really not addictive.
Should be fully
Well, even if
legalized.
there's something,
Cannot
even if
kill
there's
you.
something,
It's impossible to kill for it to
even
kill
if
you.
there's something that's
Yeah.
extremely deadly and it can kill you. I mean, ultimately, why should it be illegal?
Well, the
Okay,
important
guys.
thing is not the addiction or the murder, the death. It's the
Yeah.
addiction rates. But JR has a video he wants us to see.
Yeah. So
Well-
we were talking about the post office. I'm sorry, I just can't get enough of Dave Rubin sometimes.
Yeah, I bet.
Like, I don't know. It just
Oh,
it's like
dude, I love watching the shame montage.
Like the-
I agree.
Wait, have
No,
you
the thing
seen
is-
the video Nobody Respects Dave Rubin?
Yeah, I mentioned that earlier. There's that compilation. That's just
Did
like,
you-
no, I'm
did you see-
saying
no, did you see the one-
Politicrat.
no, did
Have you seen it though?
I probably have, but have you seen the one where
2 parts though.
no, have you seen the one where hold on.
We should watch that.
No,
tonight.
the one
I
where
wanna watch it.
Larry King answered his phone in the middle of an interview.
oh my
And
god.
like that was
Oh,
bad.
yeah. No, that's part of the a short part of it. Dude, we need to watch that after this.
No, it's only funny the first time you see it personally. After
I've
that,
seen it.
it's
Okay, to
cool.
be fair, I've seen it many times and it never gets
You
old.
serious? I
but-
can't do it,
no, but
man.
the thing is,
I like it a lot.
no, the thing is, I've played it on this I've played it on live stream
Have you
before.
played part
So
2?
Don't you feel at least a little bad? not that the showing the video matters. I'm just like on a personal level. Like when
okay,
you
guys,
see
be
it-
quiet.
All right.
Okay, listen.
You gotta play the video.
Yeah, that's not playing.
Wait, it's not playing. You said?
No, it's
It's not playing.
Okay, hold on.
Do not pity the grifter.
Oh, I know
Alright.
why. I know why it's not.
For he knows not what he has done.
Shit. Okay, hold on. I
Alright.
was.
Well,
just,
before it gets that loaded up, I'm gonna. Have
Okay,
to
there we
have
go. There we go. Okay. Do you hear it
Or
now?
Already.
upper government. You know what I mean? Like if it really operated in a slim way, but what the government doesn't do anything good.
Right.
Name one problem you could possibly have in your life,
Pause
Joe
it.
Rogan, that you'd be like, get the government to solve this.
Pause it.
Hold on.
Well, the road that Joe rides on,
The post office pretty good actually.
But guess what? If the post office closed tomorrow, it would be all right. You'd still get mail. Amazon would pick. No, it wouldn't. Amazon would pick that up
through UPS. It would cost a lot more.
It wouldn't though. Competition would start kicking in, and between UPS and FedEx and Amazon and drones and blah blah blah. And
I'm sorry. Could you imagine if I, as a socialist, was just like, and then like the profit motives are official, and then you.
It wouldn't though. Competition would start kicking in, and between UPS and FedEx and Amazon and drones and blah 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 and DHL,
Definitely
they'd
blah, blah,
all
blah.
It would probably drop prices because right
Probably.
now we've just got this artificial
Yeah,
thing that sits
sure.
there that then allows them
Tight
to
policy
price according
argument.
to that. But if you drop that, why is the government in that business anymore? I have 3 chickens. I've really done the Joe Rogan lifestyle.
Oh my
here
God.
Over the last couple of years, so I have 3 chickens right now.
Chickens.
I'm going to give you a good UPS story. We ordered them. They were born in August on a Monday.
And they all died in the winter.
Cleveland. They hatched that day.
They were born
threw them in a
on
box
August
with a little hole,
Monday.
USPS, and they showed up at my
No,
door.
did you
in
guys
LA
hear
on
that?
Tuesday.
Did
The
you guys hear
USPS has
that?
been doing that for about 100.
Listen.
I heard a lot of things.
No, listen to that. Like you laughed when he said it. Like you need to listen. He thinks he's talking. He thinks he's talking about the UPS. Like, let's just say he's
going.
Okay.
On a Monday in Cleveland, they hatched that day. They threw them in a box with a little hole, USPS, and they showed up at my door.
Oh no.
USPS.
It hurts.
In LA on a Tuesday. The USPS has been doing that for about 100
It's the only way you can do it, by the way. You can't order chickens through any other method.
Oh, is it just USPS?
Yeah.
So actually, I was giving the USPS credit there because my chickens all arrived live.
Yeah, they send them to chicks.
Yeah.
That's the only way you're buying these live chicks. That's the way you get them. You get them to the U.S. Postal Service.
But
you don't
I'm-
get them through UPS.
I'm pretty sure though that if the USPS stopped, it didn't exist anymore, you'd still get chickens delivered, and Amazon could probably do it even more effectively. That's
Yes, give money to Jeff Bezos. What a great idea.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna. hold on.
People are looking for conspiracies everywhere,
Everywhere.
man. I keep hearing them now about Anthony Bourdain, that
Oh, no.
Bourdain was going to expose some child pedophile ring, and that's why
What if?
A what if?
What if? All right.
they
Jeffrey
suicided
Epstein didn't
him.
kill
It's
himself.
fucking stupid, man.
without going down fully on that road. There is one odd thing about the Bourdain thing, which is just a few weeks ago, didn't he tweet some odd thing about having that
Odd.
he's met the Hillary Clinton like machine or something, and it's
Well,
pretty
he was
evil.
talking about no.
All right, no more of this. It hurts. It hurts
Okay.
so much.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna go back. We will finish the Gravel Institute.
And diverse as America, there needs to be an institution to build infrastructure aid, which are credited with having saved millions of lives. So the problem isn't the size of government, it's who controls the government.
Ah, yes.
The reason it feels like our politicians don't work for us is
That's actually she has a
because,
fair point there, but
well,
I think it's
they
both.
don't. Republicans and Democrats alike are working for the people who line their wallets instead. That's not just my politics. That's the academic consensus. In 2014,
Consensus.
a Princeton University study found that economic elites and organized groups representing business interests have substantial independent impacts on U.S. government policy. More than that, they found that the desires of regular people have
hold
zero
on, can you pause
impact
it real
on
quick?
policy adoption.
Yeah.
I just want to point out the fact that all of the artwork in their videos feels a lot like Soviet propaganda, but go on.
It does.
No, I know what it's actually trying to mimic. It's trying to mimic an avant-garde style that was
Oh, yeah.
popular in New York magazines in the 80s.
Yeah, you are correct.
So it
Absolutely.
does look like
Which,
it does
to
look like
be
Soviet.
fair, that could have possibly been based off of Soviet.
It was,
propaganda. Because they were really hippie at the time, and this was before Reagan, and people were becoming slightly more chill with the Soviet Union for a bit.
Thank you. Or it was Henry Kissinger was like trying to like get everyone to calm down.
Yeah, essentially.
Detente. Yeah. All right.
Not a little impact, not barely any impact, no relationship at all. And it's a truth that has been understood since the founding of the United States. Thomas Jefferson wrote of his desire to crush in its birth the aristocracy of our moneyed corporations. But blind.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I think like even I mean, libertarians want to do that too.
Right,
that's
but
exactly
moneyed
why.
corporations, these corporations literally owned whole towns.
Yeah.
Legally and had protection by the crown.
Ended by swanky dinner parties and big donations, some politicians have forgotten his words. The top ranks of both parties today are filled with billionaires, banking executives, and wealthy lobbyists. Corporations regularly give money to politicians on both sides of the aisle, guaranteeing
Koch brothers
their
donate to
influence
Democrats
no matter
now.
who wins an election.
Yes.
Whoever wins,
It's
you
because
lose.
of Trump.
With
Yeah.
a government under the control of corporations and
Yeah,
the rich,
believe me, I'm
the
not too
system has been
excited
rigged
about it either.
completely in their favor.
The government is not controlled by corporations. The government and corporations are one. That's what it is.
Oh yeah, basically.
That's one of the main problems with this video is the idea that corporations and government are separate. They're absolutely not.
In the 1950s, when the economy was growing faster than ever, the richest people in the country paid an income tax of 91%. The corporate income tax was above 50%. But after decades of tax cuts for the rich, the 400 richest Americans pay a lower tax rate than the bottom 10%.
That's actually not true.
Corporations,
fraud, and it's not
elites,
true,
and the
yeah.
politicians they control will justify this inequality by saying that different rules for them mean more wealth for all. But recent history shows that's not the case. While American workers have become dramatically more productive, their wages have stagnated or fallen. The average hourly wage was higher in 1974 than it was in 2018.
That is
This
true.
has led to a stark gap in qualities of
Yeah.
life.
But that's
The
not
thing
the
is,
fault of
this-
our
this-
To
government.
2018,
This video is
the
like half
wealthiest
truths.
1% of
Yeah, that's the
Americans
problem. They
increased
sneak
their
in
total
shit
net
and
worth
they don't
by
provide any
$21
context to it.
trillion.
I mean, yeah,
The
they're
bottom
they're a
50%,
leftist
meanwhile, saw their
PragerU.
net worth decrease.
I agree.
PragerU might
The
actually be
rich got
cringy.
richer.
I long term
the poor
kind of
got
agree
poorer.
with some of this,
For
but
too
the
long,
truth
we
is
have been
that
presented.
it's very unjustified. You would need to
Yeah.
add more supporting evidence.
Yeah, there's not enough empirical data.
Like there is out
Well,
there.
it's the
If
same
you
thing
look
as
at it, but
PragerU in that
the
case.
ones
No,
say
no.
didn't
The thing is,
include
I think PragerU is more cringe because at least they're kind of self-aware of what they're doing here.
Oh
no,
yeah, no,
these guys are
I
more
know.
self-aware, at least a little bit, but that doesn't really
least-
justify what
yeah,
they
they-
do.
Okay. Yeah, no, I agree. But all right.
With a
I
false choice.
like self-awareness.
Big government versus small government. We're right to be skeptical of the people who lead us. They don't work for you or for me, but it's not because government is big. It's because it's bought.
Ugh.
I'm Brianna Gray,
Ugh.
contributing editor
See-
at Current Affairs
See,
Magazine.
they threw that
About-
shit out towards the end about the tax rates, and then they don't address it at any point, and then they just do the outro. It's almost like they don't really care about the efficacy of taxes. They just want to see the wealthy pay more. They don't really care about
No,
why.
they don't.
They don't really
No, they
care
don't.
about
It's-
what benefit that has. They
No,
just
it's
want
an
the wealthy to be punished.
Exactly. That's all it is.
I mean,
I
I do
don't-
too, but
I
I'm
mean,
not
I don't-
advocating for policy on it.
I don't. The truth is like I'll admit I personally believe wealthy people should pay more taxes, but the
Oh, yeah,
honest
I mean,
thing is like
Numerically, at least, and then everything else is secondary, right?
oh yeah, numerically at least. You know what the truth
Yeah.
is? Here's the thing. I'm not a fucking economist. I know it. I'm a fucking majoring in School of Communications. I'm a fucking advertising major. I'm the one selling shit to people, not focusing on a lot of the business side.
Yeah,
of shit.
normally it's a distraction because everyone says the wealthy should pay at least more than the average, more than the bracket below them. Most people are down for that unless they want a flat tax for whatever reason.
I just think, you know what? I think that I do agree the government should be bigger, but only in certain fucking areas. Because believe
What a
me,
smart
I know
government, bro.
more. I
Smart
know
government.
more than enough that too much bureaucracy just fucks things up. Eventually, what
I think the
is-
size is good. It just needs to be reallocated.
Oh yeah, exactly. I think like
I
what
want
we should
smart
do is,
government.
Imagine if we could what we provide like for the military, if we could provide it to our citizens in a way, like the ability to have like basic health care, not like, and I'm not saying like we give them like a stimulus check in that same way or something, like
the thing with the military though is that you have to the thing with the military, there's this concept of like the military waste a lot of shit, that like hammers are way too expensive to really justify being able to have that kind of system going in place. But at the end of the day, if you reduce our military expenditure, you immediately lose out internationally. And it's not as if any of this money is real, so we might as well reallocate the 70% of discretionary spending that is done on Social Security and everything else. The vast majority of our discretionary spending is not
military.
actually on the military. It's not.
No, discretionary spending is. It is 40%.
The mandatory discretionary spending.
No, so there's no mandatory spending and discretionary spending are two completely different things.
There is a legal distinction. There's a
There is the
mandatory discretionary spending.
No. They're two separate things, because the thing is something cannot be mandatory and discretionary at the same time.
You'd think, but there's an amount of money that Congress decides on that is entirely decided on a year by year basis. Within that, they legally have to spend a certain percentage of that on certain projects. So it's not as if
that's their mandatory spending.
It's within the realm.
Social Security.
No, they can choose what it is. No, they can choose what to spend it on at their own discretion, though.
There's mandatory spending. There's discretionary spending. There's a lot of different types of spending, but there's mandatory spending, discretionary spending, and there is mandatory spending within discretionary spending.
Yeah. Okay. We're getting off topic here, though. We're getting off topic. So what I'm going to do is I want to play this. I don't know how many of you
okay.
Strange Seconds. You're going to
No, you're playing this video? No, don't. Why are you doing this?
This is going to give you. So just to let you know, wait, Cookies, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you seen this, Cookies?
Maybe.
Okay. So just to let you know, Strange Seconds, this might seem like it was made in 2015. But it was actually just made a couple months ago. So
no, I know this. I've seen it.
I want to die.
It's the bias response team. If you've been offended, your feelings must be.
I hate you, Joe.
Freedom of expression is a microaggression. Here comes Angela Frey. He's always ready to fight fascism with fascism. Starbucks windows don't stand a chance. Ethic enhancer. He's a systematic.
This was the only funny part, vaguely.
Using the powers of screaming and shame, they win every debate by calling your names.
Oh god.
This was a TPUSA or APAC. I can't remember which. Where was this featured again?
CancelCon.
Ew.
Oh, I want to die. I hate this.
God damn it. What the that was just pure cringe.
Let's go back to pre-2010. Play the
we're gonna play. So this will make you feel a little better. This is how a good like parody of a 90s cartoon should be.
Here, I'll link it to one after this one.
Okay.
The Reapers are destroying my planet!
Alliance News Network viewers expect us to do something.
Oh, we'll do something. Joker!
Yes, Commander.
Tell the Council we're forming a committee to come to a consensus about aliens.
Aye, aye, Commander.
But Earth Clan, we're gonna be late for the Battle of the Bands!
Not accurate. According to my calculations, we can defeat the Reapers with rock and roll, beat Cerberus in the Battle of the Bands, kill all Reapers simultaneously.
I've never played Mass Effect.
I like that babble talk. Mass Effect, tune up!
Now I know why they call them biotic amps.
Burla.
That's not even a character.
I don't understand.
JR, play
What?
this one next.
No. Play the one I sent. It's relevant to what we were talking about.
Commander Shepard. Space crime fighting and rocking the galaxy. Garrus. Troll. Rex. Keyboard. Tally.
Bubbles.
Watch out, here come the Reapers. Mass Effect.
Oh my god.
I'd like to just point out the fact that the what we've devolved into was anything but 2020 because we want to put this year behind us and forget it even happened.
It's meta. That's the whole thing.
It is meta, yeah. So this thing I sent you, Politicrat, is from 2009.
Did you send it to me on
Discord? Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it brings it back to 2009, the good old days before 2010, back when we had the
No
Tea Party.
again.
Yes, again.
Okay.
I think it's pretty good. Not gonna lie. I think we peaked in cringe boomer humor right around 2009.
Oh god.
Get out.
When darkness had descended all across
Oh my god.
the land, a lone voice in the distance uttered,
Yes, we can.
No, this is terrible.
never sweat.
He was real good
at
at
him tonight. He's Barack Obama, he's come to save the day. He passed a major stimulus for the bourgeois that said he'd have
He's still a hero for so many people.
Stop unemployment, mommy died. Fix healthcare in his spare time. He's Barack Obama, he's come to save the day. He'll use his superpowers to
Oh god.
It's beautiful.
Shout the Taliban, ka-chow, ka-chow. All different in the world you made, then make the Jews and Arabs friends. He's Barack Obama.
Yeah, that went really well.
You have to admit the production quality of this video is pretty
Wait,
good.
I don't understand. Is this
Oh, 2009
is this
amazing.
pro Obama or anti Obama?
It's anti-Obama. It changes. It has a wave.
Oh god.
Pirates.
Oh god. I love this.
Slam the door, ride the jets, disregard the mountain dew. Stop the door from getting warm, fill your car with nuts and corn. Leave the building, run industry, save a kitten from a tree. Fix the schools, go to space, punch a robot in the face. Stop the train, run some air, smoke them up, we don't care.
That was a controversy.
Save the day, just next door, fix the USA.
See, this was done back when the Tea Party existed and was relevant, right before that they completely collapsed in about 2011.
Yeah, no. The thing is with the Tea Party, they base it. So at first, they started as like a legitimate grassroots movement, like right after the first Ron Paul's first campaign for president. Then after that, so like they were mostly like libertarians, but then after that, yeah, they were initially initially. But then the thing is, then a bunch of like boomers and just like people who didn't understand what was actually going on liked the idea that it was like that it was a bunch of angry people who didn't like the stimulus stuff or who didn't like the bailouts, and then they made it about Obama in general, and then it just became a bunch of just like anti-Obama conservatives. Then they got hijacked by the neocons, and then the original people who were the Tea Party, like Thomas Massey and Justin Amash, basically got forced out of the Tea Party. And it became Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio. And then after that, the Tea Party just started to die out, or it started to decline, but it never really went away. But then the thing is, they just ended up being assimilated by the Trump movement, because the thing is, they never actually cared about spending. They never actually cared about the things. I mean, the original ones did, but I don't think so. No, but they didn't actually. No, the thing is, they just didn't. No, the thing is, they just didn't like the Democrats, really. The initial Tea Party people did. Like the
I
libertarian.
think your take is fine, but I think that lack of experience in the actual Tea Party, I can understand why you'd think this way.
No, but even
at the point where you had it already funded by.
Even the original Tea Party thinks this or has this point. Hold on, I'm pulling up a quote real quick.
Okay.
It's actually really funny.
No, you gotta play
I've been to a Tea Party event during the time when the Tea Party was at its height in terms of funding.
Post 2011 Tea Party though wasn't even ideological. It was basically tribal by that point.
The Tea Party, even in 2010 and in
started going downhill in 2009.
It
started going downhill in 2009.
I think that even in 2009 and 2010, I think they were still very much interested in the fact that the stimulus was just insane, exploding at the time.
No,
that
but
was one of their main focal points,
people,
regardless of the ridiculousness of it.
A lot of people jumped on the bandwagon.
Sure. About 2009, 2010, they had their event, one of their events in Washington, D.C., where they had Sarah Palin and Glenn Beck up on stage and all that jazz. But even then, it was huge at the time, and the main focus was the amount of money being spent. It was the deficit.
Okay, so.
And Trump made that like 50 times worse.
Yeah, like all.
Yeah.
If there's one thing that shows the Tea Party was dead in the water, it's Trump.
Yeah,
no, the thing is, Trump just assimilated
Obama's numbers out of the fucking water.
You could barely compare it at all.
Yeah, like people were like, Obama's spending a lot, and then Trump came in and was like, "How about we spend even more?"
I mean, to be fair, the amount of spending that was required under Obama's plans was insane. Under Trump's plans, not nearly as insane. Most of the spending and the deficit has been as a result of Congress.
I don't
and
understand why this thing is up. I'm trying to share
because
it. Because
Reason is a grifting organization. That's why.
JR, you should play my video.
Hold on, I'm gonna read this real quick. So Thomas Maskey, he was like one of the people in like the OG Tea Party. He's a libertarian, basically, or more like a Goldwater conservative, maybe. So he said, on reminiscing about the Tea Party in hindsight, this was 20. This was right after Trump was elected. So he was asked about the Tea Party when he was originally in it. So he said, I went to Iowa twice and came back with Ron Paul. I was with him at every event for the last 3 days in Iowa. From what I observed, not just in Iowa, but also in Kentucky, up close with these individuals, was that the people that voted for me in Kentucky and the people who voted for Ron in Iowa several years before were now voting for Trump. In fact, the people that had voted for Rand in a primary in Kentucky were now preferring Trump. All this time, I thought that they were voting for libertarian Republicans. But after some soul searching, I realized that when they voted for Rand, and when they voted for Ron, and when they voted for Justin, and when they voted for me in these primaries, they weren't actually voting. They weren't actually voting for libertarian ideas. They were just voting for the craziest son of a bitch in the race.
Yeah. Tennessee is Trump County. Tennessee is the most red state. And Tennessee is the most red state, not because that they're conservative or because they're Republican, because Tennessee has a pretty wide range of political ideologies.
Yeah.
They voted it because Tennessee is the most Americana. They are the most often the people who are polled in Tennessee identify as American more than anything else, more than like whatever European descent that they're from.
Scotch. It's mostly Scots-Irish there.
Technically, people who lived there prior, but the actual population now are not primarily historically Scots-Irish.
Anyway, so okay, I can play. We'll do yours now.
Mine will be the funniest one.
I mean, that just reiterates the fact that Trump is not a Republican.
Oh,
Trump is the
Tumblr?
Trump.
Okay, can somebody please open this just to confirm that it is not something that's like?
It's an MP4.
I don't want it to get me banned.
It's an Alex Jones meme.
Okay.
It's fine. I've already opened it. It's probably not terrible, other than the fact that it's Alex Jones and Susan Wojcicki would not be so happy. But you know,
who?
Susan Wojcicki.
Who the fuck is that?
The CEO of YouTube? What do you mean?
I don't pay attention to that shit. I just.
But you're
I
afraid you'll
forgot.
get
I had to
banned?
make fun of. I forgot. I told you I'd make fun of you for not knowing who Mr. Medicare was.
Okay, we'll do that in a second.
My overlord is Jeff Bezos. You got to know the names of your overlords, dude.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And I'm a Canadian. I am a Christian. I'm a Jew. I'm for real. I'm a white guy. I'm ready to kill. I'm a primitive. I'm like a raccoon in the garage. I basically am a fraud. I'm a policy wonk. I'm a patriot. I am 1776. I'm a liberal. I'm a reptoid clone of John Wayne and Elvis. I'm in a scientific matrix grid in the early phases of being inserted into an extermination system. I'm here to date your 6-year-old.
I love early 2000s Alex Jones.
Oh God.
But again, I forgot. I needed to make fun of you because you didn't know who fucking Medicare was.
No.
Dude, what the fuck?
How don't you know Mr. Let me explain it. I'm being rude. I'm sorry. Mr. Medicare was one of the original Gamergate guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. He was shit. What was his original YouTube channel name? Do you guys remember?
No.
Oh man, it was like Mr. something. Mr. something else.
Mr. Fay.
Internet aristocrat. I think that's what his name was.
That sounds really right.
Yeah, internet aristocrat. Yeah. He was one of the OG guys with Sargon of Akkad and Mundane Matt and all those guys.
Oh my God.
But now he just makes fun of other YouTubers with strange production value.
Dude, he fucking Jesus Christ, fucking Gamergate was just pathetic.
Honestly,
excuse me. Gamergate was pretty great. It was
like
fun.
the thing is the Gamergaters had legitimate concerns.
Yeah.
However, a lot of them just became complete shit. Like
Good luck telling me that Gamergate was not the start of the culture war. I will stand by that till my grave.
It was definitely a start of a portion of it, but ultimately this war has been waging for
been going
decades.
on since the 90s. But there's two culture wars. There's the 90s culture war, then Iraq came.
Okay,
and
the
then
fun one. The fun one.
Yeah, this one is
the internet one.
This is the fun culture war, yeah.
Yes, they were the kickoff of the fun internet culture war. The thing that leaked out into
it's more
the
fun
mainstream.
with the internet. The internet is what makes the culture war.
Right,
so
but
great.
it leaked out into the mainstream. It's why Twitter became what it is. I think Gamergate probably contributed to a large portion of Twitter's traffic.
Hold on.
Because everyone wanted to know what the hell was going on, because these people who didn't use social media were like, well, we all like these games and we're looking at these reviews we keep Googling, but they keep seeming completely disconnected from the quality of the games that we're playing. It's weird. They start looking into it very barely, and they just see these random people getting a bunch of retweets on Twitter. They're like, damn, this is weird.
Helping community not only nationally but globally. Well, after the Trans Liberation March.
What are you doing?
What the fuck?
What is happening? Wait, did you just pull this up? Was this not scripted?
I don't know.
Put the volume back on.
Over $1 million, and funders helped us raise way over that. That money I returned to community by purchasing a 12-unit building for a leadership academy in Queens, New York, where I live. This work means the world to me. Building and creating leaders in New York City and around the world is
Yeah, they're people, JR.
Okay. No, I was just saying, like,
Oh God.
I would have never like I mean, it's generally
I know it's hard to tell.
It's easier to tell. I mean, it's generally easy.
But you know what,
It's
JR, I know it's hard to tell that, but they deserve just as much respect as
No,
you
I
and
agree. I don't disagree. I'm just saying it's usually,
wow.
Yeah, I'm sure.
There's a difference between drag queens and trans people.
You were correct.
Wow.
There's also a difference
That's
between
really-
trans people and traps.
That's really racist.
Wait.
Fuck
Just
you.
because she's black. I can't believe you'd say that.
we all should be doing, especially Black trans women.
Yeah,
And
as I was saying, a black trans.
You're not a real demographic. I deny your existence.
That every black trans
that's stunning and
woman
brave.
has the right and dignity.
Yeah,
to
the
stand
millions
proud.
of black trans women.
I bought housing
Why?
to put trans
Oh,
and
Jesus Christ,
LGBT
what's still going
community
on?
in it and get them what they
Why?
want. College, sustainability.
I'm gonna go get another one.
Empire.
I need to
live
get
and
one too.
thrive from. And this is my staff and my wonderful friend who's an engineer. who
Why
came
are they
to
dressing
celebrate
like
this
that? Like,
with me.
okay.
Wow, and you were doing.
Okay, I'm just gonna say,
Yeah, go on.
being trans, okay, fine, like that's fine, but like there's a point where like and it's not just for this, it's like for pretty much every single thing, every single yeah, but there's a point where you go over the top, and it's like you're doing something for attention.
Well, it's that thing
It's
that
not
people
just trans
always
people,
talked about with
any identity.
4chan.
It's like that for any like marginalized identity. There's a point where
AKA the only way it's gonna stop is if people just stop giving a shit about it. Like just let it be normalized.
No, it's the same. It's the same for like, for instance, you see this at like, for instance, gay pride parades. It's like, okay, why are you like wearing a thong? That's
you can't
like,
just pretend like the trans shit isn't a problem.
Like,
and then it isn't, in my opinion, but
It's a problem.
I don't want to get on that.
But by problem, I don't mean like their existence is a problem. I mean people suffering from gender dysphoria is a problem.
Oh yeah, no, I agree.
I have a question. So, I mean, the thing is, so what if? So, I mean, I think it's kind of odd that that trans people and gay people are lumped into the same community when they are two completely different, unrelated phenomenon.
Well, they're not unrelated.
One just has to do with one is more like physiological. The other is psychological.
The fact that there's even a distinction in the first place is the reason why there's a controversy in the first place.
Yeah, no, I mean, because the thing is, one of them is a mental disorder, and then the other one is just a biological. It's just like a genetic thing.
I was a mental disorder until the American Psychological Association removed it as such.
No, they still consider it. They still consider it.
I would challenge the mental disorder part just because it's complicated. I'm not gonna fucking.
Hey, there's nothing wrong. I mean, the thing is,
but
what's strange is
even if you consider it a mental disorder, if the best way of treating it is allowing them to do whatever they want, go on estrogen and get the surgery or whatever.
So far, yeah. So far, that is the best thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
no, I agree.
No, I don't agree.
No, until they can make some kind of like psychoactive medication.
It's called therapy. We apparently we had a whole system prior to this.
Well,
prior to the early 2000s, and things were going fine with that.
Ultimately, like I could really care less what people who are adults end up doing with their own body.
Yeah, I mean, neither do I. I mean, it's like do your own thing.
Legally. On a personal
my biggest thing is I take issue with people under like the age of 18 deciding to completely medically transition.
Oh yes, no, they can't consent to that.
Because like in the same way that I don't think a 10-year-old can decide if they want to have if a 10-year-old can't consent to marriage and to have children, I don't think they should be able to consent to sterilizing themselves.
It is a different argument.
I could see an argument for people saying starting hormone blockers at 16, maybe.
Yeah, I can agree. I will agree.
No, I disagree with that as well.
No, okay.
However,
ideally it would be 18.
No, they usually start hormone blockers far earlier if you think you are, which is the one I am against. I don't think you should be starting hormone blockers at ages as young as 12. I think it should be
that's abuse. That is
no, there's a big thing. There's a big aspect to it as well. Is that ultimately I know a lot of people say hormone blockers are safe, but they're ultimately very untested in a lot of different population sectors.
They are very untested, yes.
And the big thing for me, like if I have a child and they start expressing gender dysphoria and I get them evaluated by the proper professionals and it's determined that yes, it is very likely that my child might be transgender or experience severe gender dysphoria, which results in becoming transgender, they can socially transition all they want and they can change their name, they can wear whatever their clothes they want.
Yeah, exactly.
But like medically speaking, that can be a gift for them on their 18th birthday if that ends up being the case, but no.
No, I agree with. Yeah. I think that, like, in terms of the medical transitioning itself, that should only be something you're allowed to consent to when you're a legal adult. Yeah. I do think the problem is like we don't allow someone to get plastic surgery before the age of 18 unless they get consent from their parents. I honestly don't think the consent from your parents thing should even be a thing. I think you should have to wait until you're 18, unless it's deemed something like necessary unnecessary cosmetic surgery due to something like horrible scars from a terrible injury.
It's sort of a weird
rule, but
I don't know if there needs to be specific legislation on it when it comes to that, because I don't think the state involving itself in what a parent can and can't do, I think it starts to get very messy in that respect. I'd say generally speaking, though, when it comes to
a lot of these
like
are
for
very
me,
different.
like for example, if I got a
report,
report from CPS that that a parent wanted their child to get plastic surgery and it was like a 6-year-old for whatever cosmetic reason the parent decided, that would be a child protective services issue. And I think like it's just the age, the age group for me is the biggest thing. I don't care what adults ultimately end up doing with themselves.
And then, yeah, so why do are like certain activists who are like
this is something.
No. Listen, hey, I have a question. I have a question because I'm not super knowledgeable on this particular issue. But so, why do then activists who are for children being able to do that? Why do they think that is transphobic, especially if somebody's saying when they're older they can do it?
I got the answer to it.
You go first, Dakota. I have a
an
nuanced
answer
opinion on it.
As a leftist, I actually have an answer because it's not as clear cut as you would think.
Why do you get the card? Because you're a leftist. What about leftism makes you so knowledgeable about this?
Because it's an issue that is considered particularly poignant.
It shouldn't be.
Well,
you can choose whether or not. Yes, but I'm saying.
Well, since you're a leftist, shouldn't someone with more of a lived experience be able to speak before you?
I mean, you can if you wish to. Yes.
Oof. In all seriousness, a lot of these are very different arguments to be had. Whether or not the efficacy of government having regulation over this, whether or not a family should or should not be told how to treat their son or daughter.
How to train your dragon.
How to train your dragon.
How to train your child. How to coerce my child into bodily mutilation.
When you end up against the wall with some of these arguments, it sort of just continuously shifts back and forth. Well, it's like, well, I don't think they should do this, but the government also should not be doing it. These things are separate arguments. They need to be followed through.
Like, for instance, my personal beliefs are very traditional. Like, I believe I am a very, very staunch traditionalist in terms of my personal views and my personal outlook on the world. However, I also on principle believe that to an extent, at least, as long as it's not like a libertine and like free for all, within reason, people should be able to choose what decisions they make for themselves in their personal lives, so long as it doesn't cause
that's so general,
damage
though.
to society.
I think a lot of people would agree with that, but that doesn't really address the actual fact of the matter that the science behind the way transitioning works. It's very detrimental to a child's development.
Oh yeah, no, exactly, no. Like I said, there should be guidelines, or there should be like boundaries in place. Like children, if it's children, then no. But I don't understand why.
Even with children, it's sort of this. Currently, the American system has it set so that to be transgender, to have gender dysphoria, the only treatment that is allowed is to transition. To be talked out of transitioning is effectively illegal in a lot of jurisdictions, which is insane considering only 5 years prior to the change in the American Psychological Association's definition of gender dysphoria, that was a perfectly acceptable way to treat gender dysphoria.
But the thing is, also, here's a
treatment. Saying someone. The truth is, and this is something I've experienced with psychology. A, because I've studied it a bit, and B, also, I've been with therapists. That's not actually a treatment. Just saying, hey, don't do that. Don't feel like that. That's not really a treatment. And they didn't actually have real psychological therapy. They absolutely the closest they had, if you're talking about something physiological, something like,
homosexuality
dysphoria is not physiological.
No, homosexuality is physiological. Homosexuality is not
homosexuality is also not physiological.
Yeah, it is.
No, it isn't. To say that it's physiological is to say that there's a gay gene.
I mean, no, I don't think it's been. I don't think it has been proven either way, but so far, the consensus is leaning towards that.
That's
The fact that I have
can't prove God isn't real argument,
the
though.
fact that I have, for instance, the fact that I have ADHD. There's therapy I can do that can help me, but the truth is the only real treatment for it really is an ADHD medication. Now there is stimulant and non-stimulant ones, but there are effective medications and treatments for it. That's what they are.
And what do those medications and treatments do? The purpose of them.
And until they can make a medication that would ultimately mitigate the dysphoria.
Listen, there are some promising treatments regarding that, but that aside, for the most part, we're not allowed to have these kinds of conversations.
Wait, what? No, but okay,
that's not allowed to advance on it.
That is fucked up because okay, let me say something. No, because that's like saying, oh, a schizophrenic should not be allowed to take their antipsychotics.
No, that is not what that is. That's not how that works at all.
That is not actually how it works at all. They are still doing research on that. Literally, my university.
Yeah, they are, but it's very difficult.
My university, which is considered a very progressive university, is actually doing that. The truth is that's something that there are quite a few trans people who would actually want that. Truth is, not all trans people.
Give them a choice. Give them a choice.
I'm not saying that this is not going on. This is some 1984 ridiculous stuff. I'm saying it's very difficult when you get into the situation where you have these large activist organizations that once they catch wind of this, once they decide to jump on it, your funding gets cut. It's happened several times. There's still research being done. There will always be research being done for as long as they have the ability to do so. That's why I said that there is some promising stuff coming out, because it exists, but it's very far and few in between. They have a very difficult process where every time they start to make headwind, some activist organization claims that they're denying the existence of trans people.
Truth is, I just don't see it as a big deal.
Neither do I, as long as you don't be a degenerate about it.
In a sense, but it's like people should be allowed to do what they want, but then at the ground level, what happens when people are suffering from these psychological disorders and people are just like, well, they should just be able to do whatever. That doesn't
that's exactly what I'm saying. Like somebody who has let's say somebody has bipolar disorder or something. Yeah. That's like saying, oh, you should just let them be themselves. It's like basically it's mentally illophobic.
Yeah.
To prescribe them medication that would help.
You suffer from OCD. You suffer from bipolarism. You suffer from schizophrenia. You take medication.
That's what I was trying to say earlier, but then it seemed like you were cutting me off and disagreeing with me.
No, I don't know. Maybe I assumed something else. But what I'm saying, at least, is that you take these medication to bring yourself towards the norm or whatever society or the institutions believe is the norm. One of my main problems is that the American Psychological Association is claiming the norm is in a completely different ballpark than people that have these completely different disorders, which they treat it in a completely different way. It's a weird protected class that doesn't make any sense at all.
No, to be fair, there is also a lot of confusion about shit like sex and gender and stuff like that.
Well, of course there's confusion. They redefined the definitions of them in the 60s.
Sex and gender are two totally different things.
They are now. They weren't before, and a lot of people don't agree with it.
They should be two separate things. I do agree.
They should only be two separate things because of the modern era. The
thing
is what it is.
I mean, you can.
No, the thing is, so I think we mean this
personally, as I kind of associate as mainly non-binary. I don't really like fucking gender roles. I also don't like making a big deal out of it, which is why I don't give a shit about pronouns.
Which is entirely fine.
It's just I don't see where the harm is, honestly.
Okay, so this is my thing. Well, listen. Okay, I tried to. So, with regards to this, I think that Dakota and I are saying two completely different things when we're referring to sex and gender being different. So, gender is the psychological equivalent to sex. So think of it like dualism, sort of. Whereas no, okay. I'm playing. I guess I'm playing. Maybe I'm trying. No, okay. So, but sex, though, however, very often, most of the time, informs gender. And gender roles are affected by sex in terms of the differences between like physical ability and, for instance, in biological features of that sex. Most of the time, the sex informs the gender of that person. However, sometimes you get like some weird psychological anomalies, and then that causes the dysphoria. And so people may identify with the other one. So yeah, I mean, do you see what I'm saying now, Dakota? So sex informs gender, but they are not synonymous.
I mean,
it is the gender is the it's a psychological equivalent of sex, which is
yes and no. I'm sort of taking this pseudo, not fence, but backseat approach where I'm looking at it historically, where sex and gender were technically together. They were the same. There was not a distinction at a point. I can see how there is a useful distinction as science evolves over time. We thought that aether was a thing, or the ether, but
the Ethernet's a thing.
At the end of the day, I think that the distinction does more harm than good. I don't think that there is a societal or scientific benefit to it. I'm not a scientist, obviously, but in most arguments, I don't find a use for making the differentiation because I don't make the argument from a scientific basis.
You're still talking to them.
I'm a working actor.
I make it from a psychological perspective. The only thing I get because the whole thing is we have these political opinions on how society should be run. So it's just kind of projected towards the trans problem.
That is fucked up.
I hate that song so much.
No, okay, I like the song.
I love that song, but I hate that song.
No, I like the song. But the thing is, that is actually very insensitive.
Look, one of the big comments was
Yeah, those comments are great. You're right, Politicrat. The chat is always right wing.
It is.
Yeah.
No, but the thing is, okay, to be fair, it is kind of toned down. Like, okay, it's a good song, but in context, it's like, kind of like, would you play, let's say, after 9/11?
Tone deaf? Are you insulting Beethoven?
Fuck you. No, I was saying that, would you play, hold on a second.
He has to go to the bathroom.
I'll take the computer in there.
I know you will, you fucking animal.
Base department? We have an overload in calls? Yeah, I mean,
it's like, okay. It's like, yeah. It's like, okay, would you play Con Air on TV after 9/11?
Sorry, Con Air? What's that?
It was a movie. I think it was Harrison Ford, right? I think. No, I mean I'm talking about Air Force. No. Well,
I'm assuming they had like a building being bombed or something.
I would just replay footage of 9/11.
Then there was also I was actually thinking not Con Air. I was thinking of Air Force One. Like with Harrison Ford. That was the one with Harrison Ford, right?
I don't.
What are you talking about?
What's going on here?
Hold on.
You're referencing.
Dude, can you reference maybe some
when you're saying Air Force
anime?
One, you don't mean Air Force One. You're referencing a show called Air Force One.
Well, hold on. What was that one with Harrison Ford?
Okay, so it's a movie. Okay.
Oh, shit. It was one with terrorists. Okay, let me just say this.
It was a movie.
You would not play
White House Down.
No, you would not play. Okay, you would not play a movie. Like, let's say there was this really good movie that was all about, but it was about terrorists hijacking a plane. Let's say it came out in the 90s.
All right.
You would not play. You would not play that movie on TV.
Or it could just be
right
a
after
9/11 episode of Pokemon.
Why? Yeah. Ooh, the one episode of JoJo where they're on the plane and the one stand user was like.
I mean, yes, but that wasn't canceled. But it would have been. It would have been.
Why?
Because 9/11. Lots of stuff was canceled. Like I said, the Pokemon episode.
No,
There was lots of
but the thing
movies
is
and
that
TV
there are
show
certain
episodes that were
things.
canceled during 9/11.
Like, do you really think it is like really appropriate to be singing a song that talks about imagine there's no heaven in the middle of a pandemic where people are dying?
Listen,
I don't really
in
care.
the UK, you can't legally have comedy shows on television if the Queen dies.
How
I
long
don't
is this
want-
fucking song?
I don't want to identify any of American culture with British culture as much as possible. I don't like
I
the red
agree with you there.
Why don't you don't like classic Doctor Who?
No, I like Doctor
I
Who.
actually like modern Doctor Who more, except for the most
But
recent
he's
like
a
4
woman.
seasons. The past 4 seasons were bad.
It
The whole
was.
show was mediocre from the get go,
David
but it was
Tennant,
coolish.
David Tennant was the best one. Oh, Will's already saying that.
Yeah. David Tennant was
No.
great. Matt Smith was
I
also
liked Tom
Eccleston
Baker.
Oh,
was great as
guys,
that.
this shit year is about to be over.
Oh my god.
I'm
20 more seconds.
Please.
15.
War with Iran. War with Iran.
They set the nukes off right now.
Oh god.
I'm gonna make it so that I'm gonna make it so that I piss in both 2020 and 2021.
Ooh, are those Chinese people?
My beer's up. I got my beer up in the air. I'm ready.
Oh shit! I need to go crack it open.
If only I had a gun.
I have one.
Ooh, nice.
I'm not gonna shoot it though. That's illegal.
Dang. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Happy New Year, lads.
Beer.
I drove up in here.
About the praise and with the going.
Up in here, bro. Half a point on me.
How much money do you think Kia paid for that?
Oh, I ain't got a clue, off.
I feel nothing.
JR, I have a video for you.
What video? Hold on.
Here you go. I uploaded it to you on Discord. I'd like you to play it in the stream.
Is it
It's for this new. It's for this new year.
Is that Bill Clinton? Oh, no, wait, shit. For a
Yeah,
second, I
that's
thought that
Bill
was
Clinton,
no.
yeah.
For a second, I thought that was
it
Joe
is.
Biden.
That is Joe Biden.
That is not Joe Biden. I'm more under the influence. That's not Joe Biden.
Fuck. I've had I don't feel drunk, but I've had like quite a few.
Oh my god, how many have I had?
I'm at like 5 now, maybe.
Yeah, give me a sec. I need to mute the mic for an
I'm on my 8th one.
unspecified reason. I'm totally not doing an action that creates a noise.
Oh, are you getting high?
Play the video I put up. Put it up on stream.
So I'm going
What?
to. Who has been
No,
watching?
What?
Who-
No,
okay,
I will let you know I am a man of God, there, Mr. Politicrat.
Oh yeah,
I
you
would-
man of God.
I'm a
Who's been
priest.
watching this
I am
entire
a
time?
registered priest, and that
I
is
don't
not
know,
a
but
lie.
they're smart. I like them.
Only 9 more months, and then the 20 year anniversue of
Hey, I'm
9/11.
Politicrat. You know that's
Ooh.
right. I'm a registered priest.
You're a dudist. I know. I am too.
Ooh,
Never forget.
woo! You can become a deacon pretty easy. Play the video. Play it.
Whoa, whoa.
Excuse me. I'm so sorry.
Are you okay, dog?
I'm fine.
Are you sure?
I'm fine. I just have a little Canada in my
You can
mouth.
throw up a little bit, a little throwy
Nah.
uppy.
No, I'm good.
That's okay. You gotta do what you gotta do.
I was
You gotta get
talking
through
to
it,
some
dog.
people. I was talking to some people about
Yeah.
how IPAs are disgusting.
I love
They
IPAs.
are.
Disgusting.
They're so
I love-
gross.
I love
Anybody who
IPA.
likes IPAs are gonna die.
I just
They
think
gotta get
weird.
hit by a car.
Because they were like entry level beer are lagers, and I'm like,
I love
yeah,
lagers more.
technically, but then you start from lagers and you go into IPAs, and IPAs are like college kid drinks.
I don't
because
like
that's
the
stuff
hot.
they have in
It's too
microbreweries.
hoppy. It's too hoppy.
No,
I
I
mean-
can't drink IPAs. You want to know fun fact? I'm allergic to hops.
Well, that's great. because hops are just
IPAs just make me fucking spew.
Microbreweries. Listen, I had my share of microbreweries. I lived in Asheville, North Carolina. apparently it had, according to the locals at least, the record for the highest number of microbreweries within a something mile radius. There were a lot. You'd go to one microbrewery, and then you go to the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and throughout the night you could go to like 15 different ones. It was crazy. Most microbreweries in general are hops, and they're really easily made compared to other beers. They sell them by the bucket. They're not great quality drinks.
They're like,
hoppy
it's just
beers
too,
are
it's
like
just way
white
too
bread.
hoppy. It's kind of gross, not gonna lie.
IPAs are like
no,
the
what
white bread of
literally
drinks.
happened is I found out what it is because I actually
like
went,
ciders.
I took advantage of the NHS while I was studying in London, and I got a test, and it turns out I produce an extra enzyme in my stomach, and so what literally happens is it reacts to hops, and it makes it so that my stomach basically constantly causes beer to foam. And so when I puke, I literally puke beer foam, basically.
That's kind of cool.
No, but that sounds awful. That sounds like hell.
That's
cool.
cool.
It's terrible. And the reason I hate beer is because I literally feel it expanding in my stomach.
No. That's perfect because beer is terrible for you.
No, I
you can have a little bit and it'll be fine.
I hate beer for that reason. Like, I just
Okay,
don't
well,
really
listen.
drink, honestly.
I think that is a product of you having a bad time.
Evolution.
And I think that if you make yourself have a good time, you'll have a good time.
So wait, Beppis, as an evangelical Christian, what is your opinion on evolution?
Well, considering my staunch, near militant-esque atheism, and my background in biology, I think evolution is pretty rad.
Based. Yeah. No. So every single. So in case I don't know if
no,
Dakota,
JR, don't explain anything.
Okay.
No,
my uncle, he is a deacon. He is.
No, he's not.
My uncle's genuinely a deacon. Yeah.
No, he's not.
Well, he was a deacon.
Did you watch the video I sent you about Skyrim?
Skyrim?
Yeah.
I don't know what that has to do with my uncle. Okay. Well, my uncle's a deacon. He's written some books. He's a very smart man. And if he ever sees this stream, hello. But my family is Episcopalian, and I grew up Episcopalian. My dad was Catholic, but only like because his family was Catholic. They never really went to
basically Episcopalian.
Right, I know.
It's a Catholic copy pasta.
I mean, yeah, sort of. Yeah, sort of.
And I say that as somebody who has recently
I've been to
Episcopalianism.
I went to Catholic school during middle school.
Why don't you be an atheist like me?
Because atheists miss the point.
No,
I can't force myself to believe,
dog.
but I think that Episcopalian is the best version of evangelicalism as long as you're not that faction that split off over gay marriage, because holy shit was that cringe.
Yeah.
The Episcopalian Church, they had a huge problem with the gay marriage acceptance thing, because a lot of Episcopalian churches just decided to suddenly accept gay marriages in their churches. And as much as I think gay marriage is fine, I think the legal distinction is the thing that should be fair. The religious distinction is an entirely separate
It's a different
argument.
question entirely. Like,
I think any religious faction or whatever, any church decides to change their beliefs on a long-held tradition simply because the times have changed and have virtually no other reason for it, it's kind of cringe. I feel like they've got.
To
be fair, I honestly
that's
kind
kind
of
of
a
a
pattern.
pattern. I mean, y'all eat shellfish and wear fucking polyester blends. Like, times change.
Excuse me, I love shellfish and polyester blends. What are you trying to say?
So I have a lot of Catholic viewers in my audience for some reason. So they're gonna this is gonna piss them off. Well, no, because specifically the Catholic viewers, most of them happen to be trad cats. So
just say his name. Just say his name. Just say his name.
Multiple. No, but either way,
say his name.
God.
No.
Capital H.
I gotta piss real
God
quick.
damn it.
The
Anyway,
Poperino?
they no, so they're gonna get mad at me for saying this, but I really don't see any rational theological arguments against gay marriage. Like I can't conceptualize. Like I can't. I've tried to. I have tried to search for one, not because like I want to be against gay marriage, but like I have searched for one that I've not found a single one that makes any sort of theological sense. It seems very arbitrary. Like
the theological argument, I suppose, so is a more of a natalist argument, ultimately speaking,
I mean, you
wherein
can make the natural
you can't
law
produce
argument.
viable children within that relationship. So
But
it's
that doesn't mean-
it's abhorrent and against God, because why would you? There's nothing productive. It's just pleasure and sin at that point. If it's just pleasure to have sex and there's no possibility of a child, that's the point of it.
No, yeah,
Whether
no,
it's
I
right or
understand
wrong,
that, but
that's
then
the theological argument.
Yeah, no, that is the theological argument, and I understand that. However, I don't necessarily think that is a great theological argument, because at the same time, if creation is supposed
Well, it's a
to be
puritanical. It's
if
very puritanical
okay, listen.
argument.
So if creation is supposed to be, if creation and natural law itself is supposed to be perfect, because everything that happens in the physical world is a result of natural law, that would also mean that feeling gay attraction and the pleasurable experience, that too is also natural.
Yes, but
Like,
you
does that
also
make
have to
sense?
understand that if you're coming at this from a Catholic or puritanical standpoint, you have to understand that the vices of humanity is a sin, and it is shameful for that to be within you, because when Eve partook in the apple, that is when sin entered into humanity. When the understanding of evil entered into humanity, and humans stopped being pure beings. So yes, that is a part of the natural aspect of humanity, but ultimately that part of the human nature is something that should be rejected, because it is vice, it is sin, it is part of Satan. And so anything that accepts that is an acceptance of Satan and of itself, and a rejection of God. That's why Sodom and Gomorrah were smote. That is where that's the implication wherein that's coming from.
So common misconception, Sodom and Gomorrah actually has more to do with pedophilia.
Regardless of what it is, it's the principle of that being a vice. Vice needs to be rejected. That sin needs to be rejected. Anything of pleasure needs to be rejected, because you need to be an abject worship of God. And anything besides that is a rejection of God and an embrace of Satan, and thus a relationship that does not bear fruit for God is a relationship of purely of pleasure, which is sin.
Another thing I'm going to say, the greatest thing that any human has ever done was to take a bite out of an apple, because that made shit really interesting.
No, hell yeah, we need a little bit of sin. Don't get
No,
me
it's not
wrong.
that. It's just saying, like, if we were like in that blissful Eden-like state perpetually.
Well, it's not real existence. It's not free will. When Eve ate the apple, it gave humanity free will, because it gave us actual understanding of our reality.
What the story of the Garden of Eden is about. Eden is not. It was never intended, even by the original writers of the story. It was not intended to be a literal physical garden. It was a state of mind.
Yes.
And it was a state of mind. And what it is, it was about, the entire story is about us losing touch with our primordial metaphysical truth.
Well, it's very Rousseauian. It's very
yes
it's
and
very
no.
well in the sense of before humanity evolved to a certain point, we were nothing but pure uwu soft beings, and when we got to a certain point,
I think
through our own evolution.
Rousseau makes it too utopian in a sense.
Well, I mean, essentially, that's what the Garden of Eden is.
No, the Garden
though.
of Eden wasn't utopian.
It wasn't
no, the Garden of Eden wasn't utopian. It wasn't anti-utopian. It just was. It was good.
No, I'd argue that it was a very utopian view and a romanticized view of what humanity was before civilization began, because it was the idea that once reasoning became a thing, once people could think and feel and choose things for themselves, once we moved beyond being just animals, in that respect of being a part of God's garden, because it's God's garden. It's his garden. We were a part of his garden, wherein all the plants of the world existed, wherein it was
Because the
truly
thing is-
it's represented as a perfect
The
place,
Garden
and
of
we
Eden,
were the
because
focal point of it. And when
Garden of
Eve
Eden
ate
was
the
the
apple,
world.
we were flicked out. Well, in the metaphorical sense, when Eve ate the apple, we're cast out of the garden in the same way that Satan was cast down from heaven, and so
Paradise
the reason that Satan attempted to coerce Eve into eating the apple is to bring humanity
Actually,
down.
the Bible never said it was
Well,
Satan. The Bible never said it was Satan.
okay, then Mephistopheles, whoever it ends up being,
No, it was
speaking,
intuitive. Okay, yeah.
the snake, whatever it ends up being, just for the layman's sense, depending on what biblical version we're going off of. Because Satan ultimately was jealous and angry at humanity because he wanted God's love and grace for himself. And so bringing humanity down to that in a way of destroying humanity, but ultimately giving humanity free will.
Yeah. So
it's a romantic view of the childlike innocence of humanity, wherein before we gained the understanding of the world around us, it's a very romanticized and utopian view of what humanity was.
I would say romanticized, but not utopian.
I think it as per definition of utopian.
Because the concept of utopia is inherently materialistic.
Not necessarily.
Whereas romanticism is inherently anti-materialistic. So I would say that romanticism
essentially,
and
but that's just
utopianism,
that ends up just being semantical at that point. Ultimately speaking, though, in the utopian sense of wherein it's an extremely romanticized view that's out of touch with reality and that is unobtainable, ultimately speaking, if we're going on more of a layman's view of what utopian means, and be it materialistic or anti-materialistic, is inconsequential, ultimately speaking.
I would say that basically it is impossible to restore that which it once was.
I don't think it ever
exactly.
was.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
it's a fairy tale because
basically no. So I wouldn't say it's a fairy tale. It definitely is not a literal story. But
in the sense of I don't think it's a reality. I don't think that we were actually in a fucking garden 6,000 fucking years ago.
No, of course not. No, but the thing is, it was a state that the story of the Garden of Eden is true in the fact it is. The thing is, the story of the Garden of Eden, it is true but not historically factual.
Wouldn't that make?
I don't think so. What do you mean?
Wouldn't that make all of
It's the different. No, so the story of the Garden of Eden seeks to convey a metaphysical truth as opposed to a literal fact.
But what do you mean? Which metaphysical truth? Because if it's
what
you're discerning, I disagree with that being a truth. Metaphysical, yes, but whether or not that's a truth is something is something I disagree with.
The idea, the notion of man's gradual decline from more or less his understanding of the universe in a spiritual way. Hold on, I'm actually going to pull up a video.
No video.
I was planning on doing this anyway. Hold on, because the thing is, it actually makes So the reason I'm pulling this up is because the guy who made this video and I haven't announced this yet, but we're actually collaborating on a series together. It has nothing to do with this. Has nothing to do with. No, it is not who you think it is.
Your arguments are futile.
Nazi collaborators, you say?
Gone back to the Christian God.
No, I'm not talking about Christianity. This is beyond Christianity. Like I'm not even making a religious argument here.
Nothing is beyond that.
So the thing is, hold on, let me pull. Okay, here, this works right here, because you need to understand the concept of what in Christianity they call the quote unquote fall of man. That is not just a Christian doctrine. That is found in every single other religion.
Yes, there's an idea because it's a romanticization
and the thing is,
once was, but
that should tell us something.
You know what? If we're going to go with this vein, if we want to switch gears just slightly, why is it that every single culture on the planet has weird humanoid legends wherein there's really tall, emaciated, super pale-skinned creatures that either eat people or suck blood or some form of...
It's because vampires are real.
All I'm trying to fucking say is that I think vampires might be fucking real, and you know what? Skinwalkers want to eat people, and I really want to be attacked in the woods.
You're making the same argument that young Earth creationists do but
all
from
I'm
an opposite
saying, JR, is that every single culture on the planet has extremely similar legends about these extremely these tall humanoid fleshgate creatures that are extremely emaciated, have
Flesh
big ass
descent.
black eyes, pointy fucking teeth, and they kind of want to eat you a little bit. And you know
Ooh.
what? All I'm saying is that when I'm driving around at fucking work in the dead of night, and I'm driving through the woods, and I'm just like, I kind of want my car to fucking break down a little bit. And when I
agree. The
hear something
Jimmy
weird in the
are
woods, and then
scary.
you know what? It fucking comes out and it looks at me, and I have this moment where I'm like, oh my god, is my gun even gonna work?
What is
Like, what the
this?
fuck
What
do
are
I
you
do? Should I
doing?
just crash into the
Jacob,
should I
this
just crash
video
my
I
fucking
sent
police
to
car
Vic-
into the fucking thing? Like, does a taser gonna work on this bitch?
This,
Up
Is it
next,
magical?
actually-
Is it biological?
Concept of language by Noam Chomsky. All right.
This is no. This is actually a do you know what perennialism is? Perennialism is a philosophical movement
For millennialism.
No, perennialism. Sophia
Yes.
Perennis. Aldous Huxley wrote a really good book. The guy who wrote Brave New World wrote a very good book on it. Basically, it's just about all the common traditions that mankind holds. That we basically each culture is more or less telling the same story to make it in a different way, and it is that culture's particular.
Huxley,
In that no,
also
but
known as the male version of
difference.
Ayn Rand.
No, the difference in those myths are it is that culture's way of making sense of more or less the same truth in their own context from a way that they understand it, yet the same metaphysical phenomenon all these cultures understand. They just tell it in a different way. So this is a
Though a lot of people that ascribe to that, though, unfortunately, also fall into the trap of religion doesn't really mean anything, but it is useful as a social cohesion tool, and that's kind of disrespectful.
I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, I'd say it's not necessarily either or.
I agree, but it's a very common philosophical sort of a entire. Sort
So
of
I'm not saying. So basically,
meal,
what I'm saying, I'm not saying all religions lead to God. That's the New Age thing. What I'm saying is all religions have a common primordial root, are all rooted in the same thing, more or less. But okay, so hold on. This is actually the guy who made this video, Flavius, he's a YouTuber. We're actually the video series that the project we're collaborating on has absolutely nothing to do with this. It just it has to do with just empires and history. But this video, this basically more or less sums up what I'm trying to say. So.
Sorry.
Whoa, aliens, dude. Aliens.
Dude, man. Handsome.
You know, Beppis, you were making a pretty decent point about vampires, I gotta say.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Hmm?
Vampires.
You might have a point about that.
All I'm saying is that like every single culture on the planet, like maybe not vampires, but like fleshgate type creatures.
Yeah.
Like
Element
it
of the
gets me.
undead
Like all
that
I'm saying is
sucks your
like
life energy at somewhere.
Okay.
This
like
is a
I'm
good
driving
book.
around.
I definitely recommend the Crisis of the Modern World. I actually haven't read Crisis of the Modern World. I'm reading East and West though by Guinan. He was a Sufi actually, and a philosopher. He was a French philosopher.
Nuh-uh.
Just look at this. It's interesting.
Nuh-uh.
I'm looking at it. I'm
not looking at jack
voiceover,
shit.
so there's no voiceover, so I can just keep saying words even if they don't mean anything, you know?
All I'm saying is that like
That,
every time Mop is like, I'm gonna go for a walk in the middle of the night in
To
the
7-Eleven.
No, he just walks around in the desert. He's like, haha, I'll just be like, I'm like, be careful. He's like, don't worry, I know where the crackheads hang out. I'm like, you're gonna get attacked by a fucking like.
Jacob, Politicrat, my video is dated, but I sent in private chat. It's solid.
Have you seen the here's a little insider information so that you're not behind with the new hip meme culture, the new term
Poggers
apocalypse. You haven't heard it yet?
What
the
is
hollow coof apocalypse.
Coof?
Or the Holocaust-apocalypse.
Define.
Yeah. Well, you know the Holocaust, it's like
Yeah.
that, but Coof, because it's a pandemic, and it's an
Yeah.
apocalypse. So apocalypse.
The Coomer cost.
No, it's the Holocaust
No.
apocalypse, because Mr. Medicare made a video on it, so it's spreading all over Telegram, which means it's going to inevitably leak out into Reddit and 4chan and everywhere else.
What about Chris
The
Chan?
Holocaust apocalypse.
No.
That's not gonna spread.
By James Patrick O'Shaughnessy.
I thought you were about to say James Patterson.
No. James Patrick O'Shaughnessy.
The Bognadogs.
What the fuck is Terragram?
So you know Telegram?
I mean, I know what telegrams are, yeah.
Okay, so, well, no, like the program Telegram, the social media platform.
No.
Okay, so there's a social media platform called Telegram. So you
Which
take
is
that.
dissimilar from Twitter.
Yes. So you take that, but then you put accelerationists and people who wish that there were more terrorists in the mix. And then you got it. You got Telegram. It's a large network of Telegram channels that are accelerationists. Some of them are white nationalists. Some of them are not. Some of them are primitivists. Some of them are
any transhumanists?
Pseudo conservatives. No, they hate transhumanism primarily.
Fuck! Just give me my robot arms.
No, they're primarily.
I'm what you call a techno primitivist.
They're primarily accelerationists, followed by nut socks, followed by doomsday, like support yourself.
Yeah, I figured I would.
Figures like Adam and Eve and Cain aren't mere individuals.
They're very influential.
They're symbols used to signify millennia-long historical epochs that mark man's transition. Adam and Eve, Cain and Abel, they're just symbols.
No, they were real people, and he fucked his mom.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I don't know where
Story
Lilith
cannot be taken literally.
I don't know where Lilith came into the mix, but it all happened.
I think she came in the mix in Evangelion. I'm pretty sure.
No, that was no. Okay, so I have a copy of the right next to me for some reason. I always have these books right next to me.
Neon Genesis Evangelion manga.
The book. Okay, the Book of Enoch the Prophet. I have that right next to me. It's an extra.
Epoch Times.
Oh wow.
Oh, the Epoch Times is actually owned by a Chinese cult.
I'm aware.
Yes.
Well, they're not owned by.
You act like we have never used the 4chan.
You act like we aren't.
Have you ever used?
I am 4chan.
Have you ever used the Chris Chan?
That was
no, Dakota and I only go on 8chan now because we're cool cute.
I go on 32chan.
No, you don't.
I believe you visited 32chan at least.
No, I think you went to a child purchasing website.
64chan.
I believe you've gone on 64chan a total of 1 time ever.
What about?
Yeah, I don't think you even have Tor.
What about 100? Wait, what about 128chan?
I don't think you've ever visited.
I don't think you've even pirated anything in your whole big old life.
Oh, I pirated a couple. I pirated.
You don't even have Pirate Bay on your computer.
I actually pirated Atlantis: The Lost Empire, the Disney movie.
No, you didn't. I bet you're the type you did it, and then you accidentally seeded for like 6 hours, and then you got a cease and desist from WoW Internet.
No, from Comcast.
Just like the rest of us.
Was the
I would never be such a fucking idiot to seed. I know my shit.
No, you don't.
I seed
you
all
seed
the time.
all the time.
I seed all the time.
You seed all the time. I know you do. You don't click it fast enough. You
I also don't pirate that much though.
Yeah, you do. You pirate at least 8 movies every single day.
I seed all of the good stuff, and then I immediately cancel all the stuff that I don't care about.
Yeah. Like Naruto, you have like 80. You have like literally Naruto 14 different versions of Naruto. You have like
seed batches. I refuse to seed anything else.
You have like 6,000 different episodes of Naruto on your like a terabyte worth of
Dakota,
information.
You weren't there, but so back during the election stream, which went for about 6 hours.
Wow.
So Yeah, so I decided to get up and walk to 7-Eleven at one point. So I created like a sock puppet, like sort of a sock puppet account for this.
Your own Russian
thing.
disinformation campaign.
No, on my phone, so I could still stay on, and even though because my computer was
Okay.
set at the admin and it was back at the house. So I walked to the convenience store, but then I got locked out of the chat, and so
then we all left just as he was coming back.
No, you all dropped out of the call as soon as I sat down.
Yeah, I know.
And the thing is, while I was coming back, they were all they were all talking about Naruto.
No, we weren't. We were talking about Supernatural.
And Naruto.
No, we were talking about Supernatural.
No, you ended talking about Supernatural, but you started talking about Naruto.
No.
Yeah.
You don't even know how Supernatural ends.
I've never even seen Supernatural.
Well, Castiel gets sent to Super Hell after he admits that he loves Dean, and Dean just stares at him.
I don't even know who that first person was.
Wait, really? That's how it fucking ends?
Yes.
That's unfortunate. Wait, so the show is actually over now?
Yes.
Good.
How's Super Hell?
I don't know, but I guess that's where gay angels go.
Gay angels.
Angels?
Angel was a good show. I think Joss Whedon ended up fucking it over, but like it was pretty good. I really liked it for a Buffy spinoff. Not gonna lie.
Okay, I think Buffy was still better. Buffy was still better.
Yeah, but yeah.
What do you call the Catholics that don't like the Pope? What is the term for them?
Protestant.
No.
No. I think
don't like the Pope.
Some of them are Protestant. No. So okay. No. So some of them are. So I think some of them are.
What do you mean?
It depends. So some of them are So there are traditionalist. So the term traditionalist Catholic is kind of controversial because you have some that like the Pope, but so all traditionalist Catholics are critical of post-Vatican II reforms. Yeah. However, some of them, like a lot of them, still do like the Pope. Like I know a very
like Latin root term. Is it just traditionalist Catholic right now?
Yeah, but there are some traditionalist Catholics who like the Pope. But then there are also schismatic Catholics who are hardcore.
You can't really call them schismatic until the schism is official.
But you can't even call them Roman Catholics either because they're not even in communion with Rome. Well, therefore, by definition,
Roman Catholics if they're not in communion with Rome, right?
Yeah, you can call them you can call them Catholics, but you can't call them Roman Catholics. Right. Kind of like how you can call the Episcopal Church Catholic, but you can't.
There's currently no Lutheran, Episcopalian. There's no like special term that isn't just traditional Catholic right now. It's just traditional Catholic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or pre-Vatican II.
They gotta get their own word. Otherwise, I can't recognize them.
But then you also need to differentiate between lowercase traditionalism and uppercase traditionalism. Lowercase traditionalism just has to do with tradition in general.
And you also capital T. Very careful to differentiate between those who take the red pill and those who take the blue pill.
No, but then uppercase traditionalism talks about the tradition. And I'm not even going to get into what the tradition is. And the tradition has nothing to do with like necessarily it's not even religious. It's more philosophical.
Speaking of V tradition, what do you guys think of VTubers?
Bring back Arianism, get rid of the Trinity. Who cares?
You know what I think you should do, JR? I think we should watch this video together.
What?
We should watch the one I sent.
No.
I'll be the poison.
Mine will be much cooler.
This
mine is.
Do not open.
Are you sending me an amazing atheist video?
This is 24 minutes. Do not open this link.
Mine is very short.
Open the fucking link. You don't even know what it is.
I know what it is.
Link
you do. You butthole.
You're gonna Rick roll me, aren't you?
No, I'm not. I just want to watch it.
Video.
No, we'll only watch a few minutes.
Mine already get a fucking copyright strike.
How is he gonna get a copyright strike for the video I fucking linked? Who's gonna copyright him?
Mine is a minute and 21 seconds long.
Who?
Mine is a minute and 21 seconds long. Very short and very entertaining.
No, mine is more
How about
entertaining.
we just talk about things instead of watching videos? 'Cause that's the point.
Okay,
of
what would you like to
stream.
talk about, Dakota?
I'd like Politicrat to pick something because he is the
No.
host and he needs to pick
Well,
something.
I have work at 10:30 tomorrow morning, and I
That is
haven't
irrelevant.
Yeah, he works at a bookstore.
and I haven't slept in 2 days.
Oh,
Wow.
dude.
Go for a record.
No,
It's
don't
New
do that.
Year's.
Oh my
All
god.
right, let's
My
No,
record-
you
my-
gotta
my-
you gotta go to
my
bed
record-
by.
My record is 4 days.
You're like only a few hours off from being legally insane. Go to bed.
You got it. You got
No,
it.
don't listen to him.
Bring
Don't listen to him. Take some melatonin and go to bed by.
Politicrat, you're a handsome fella.
No. This is self-harm. This is self-harm.
4 days, those are some pussy numbers. I've been up for fucking 5 days straight.
Don't listen to either of them. They're both horrifically
retarded.
Don't listen to either of them. It's okay to care about yourself.
Fuck you, 2020.
What I will say is it was also